All right. Oh, Jeremy, how are we going to approach them with the Casey Anthony case?
Yeah, how are you going to hire us?
We have to hire him, Jeremy.
Oh.
We get to do a skit.
Oh, we're doing a skit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know my theory on the case, Mike. Do you want me to save that, or do you want to use it in the skit?
RJ, ever since Rick's been gone, you've been quiet and you haven't been telling me all of the things that have been happening in your life. I need that fulfillment in my life.
I wasn't listening. What'd you say?
Fuck! It's always like this with you, man. Like
I'm not even a part of the bit. I've mostly been online shopping in every one of these episodes lately. So, but I'm interested in seeing what the two gentlemen who walked in and have been rehearsing what they're going to say to us for the past 5 minutes have to say.
What? What are you talking about? Jeremy, I'm telling you, it was her. She did it. Absolutely, 100%.
Mike, you're out of your mind. She's completely innocent.
Look at her. She's nothing but a liar and a scoundrel, Jeremy. Nothing she says is true.
If she's a liar, then she learned it from her parents, Mike. It's an inherited trait.
Wait a second.
It doesn't make it. Two negatives don't make a right, Jeremy.
No, they make a baby and then they kill it, Mike.
Guys, I don't know if you saw the sign, but it says we reserve the right to refuse service to community theater enjoyers. All right.
I thought this was an Orange Julius. I was very excited.
Well, I just keep a lot of it on hand here behind the desk.
Give
me one, please.
Yeah, give him one.
All right, hold on. I'm half done with this one. You can have it.
Ooh, I love Orange Julius.
God, fuck.
Yeah, that one's been warming up in between my legs.
That's my favorite part.
It's fully liquid, Jeremy.
You guys came in here yelling about what, though? Maybe we can help you. This is what we do in this place. It's on Orange Julius. We solve mysteries. It sounds like you have a mystery on your hands.
You fool. It's about Casey Anthony.
Oh, one of you truly believes that Casey Anthony's innocent? Wow.
She murdered her little baby.
She didn't do a thing.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
The only thing that she's guilty of is being born into a house of demons.
Okay, we're going
making her a demon herself, Jeremy.
Are you guys like, do you take like the horny for Casey Anthony stance in any of this?
Well, I might have just finished watching her sex tape, but that's neither here nor there.
And Jeremy told me about it, and I couldn't find it on the internet. I tried.
I'll send you a link.
That would be helpful for research purposes.
I've had it downloaded on my phone since 2012.
Whoa. I've researched this for like a month and a half, and I did not know there's a sex tape. Send me that link, too.
I'll already know what happened. Pictures.
Yeah.
Does she,
the highlight reel.
Does she instantly, at the end of it, when the guy comes, does she immediately get an abortion and throw it in the trunk of her car?
Yeah, she spits it in the trunk of her car.
She just catches the cum, like, fire!
Body shot.
Yeah, she just tapes it with fucking duct tape. It's over. Okay. You guys want to hear what I come up with this case? I went through this, like I said, for like a month and a half. I think I know the answer, but it'd be good to have you guys argue it out in front of me.
You've been preparing this, and we just happened to walk in? How coincidental.
Every time. I prepare all cases before they even come here. I have like a million stacked, ready to go.
Yeah, he's got a weird knack for it. Almost like you could say you could create an entire serialized podcast based on the phenomena that is.
So
Richard
RJ's
Strudel.
the meta one, it seems.
What's that word mean?
It means Facebook.
An elite team of private detectives.
What if balloons are aliens? Maybe that's the key component we're missing.
Cover-ups.
John's guilty.
Mysteries that need to be solved.
Maybe Mormons need mountains.
Richard, shut up.
Let's just get into it. Today we have Micheal and Jeremy from Micheal and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast coming to help us solve this today. Yay!
Hey!
Micheal is holding something that says human organ and opening it up.
He's going to pull bourbon out of it.
What part of her daughter is that?
The fun part?
Got some Woodford Reserve?
There you go. I guess that's part of your human organ if you just keep drinking all the time. It's just a human organ at that point.
I'll need one after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't count on mine, Mike.
Micheal,
I never dream of it.
Michael and Jeremy's podcast is they steal people's pods. I love it. I think it's amazing. I love the idea. It's such a great idea. I wanted to do it myself. I've told them this in the past. I thought of this idea and they just did it before I could because fuck, it's awesome. You guys are the best. Michael's been here before. He was on the Dean and Tina Klaus episode.
Yeah, he was cleanly shaven then. I did not recognize him.
Yes.
Oh, because I'm more handsome now.
He had a butt chin when you
yes.
last saw him.
Jeremy, on the other hand, has never been here, so it's good to have you, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, no. Welcome.
Hey,
This is you guys have to understand how rare it is to have Jeremy on another podcast. You should be grateful
Oh,
and appreciative.
I'm gonna say I was disappointed I didn't get to see his face after I saw it today. Jesus Christ, handsome. Am I right, guys?
Oh,
He's a cutie patootie.
Holy
oh,
crap.
shucks.
Yeah, because I was on your pod and we just did it through Discord with no faces. So I did talk to Jeremy before. I just never saw that goddamn blue eyes. Look at those
Well,
things.
I get them from
I
my
know.
mother, and thankfully she didn't murder me.
Oh, thank
Yep.
God. Yeah, for sure.
Here
Just
we
like
are.
Casey Anthony murdered her child.
It
Exactly.
lies.
Well,
Slander.
let's set this up here. So I wanted Michael and Jeremy on this episode because they are Florida boys, right? You guys are both from Florida.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Perfect. And this case happens in Florida. Probably the most famous Florida case of all time, I would say. Maybe.
During my college years, it was all that was on the news.
For sure. Probably one of the most famous, like, modern cases in the U.S., I would say. Like,
A lot of twists
it
and
goes-
turns, and I'm sure you're going
It
to go
goes
over it.
OJ, Casey Anthony.
for sure. And they're close to each other. Like, OJ... See, imagine OJ happened when Casey Anthony happened, like 20 years later when there was like so much 24-hour news cycle shit. Like OJ would have been crazier. I think hers was crazier, just the amount of news that came out because of the time. You know,
There's a
2011.
famous picture of them together.
Get the fuck out of here. Is there? I never saw it. No, there
I'm
isn't.
fucking
She-
with you.
she-
I don't know.
I was like, I looked for fuck, that'd be crazy. OJ has a new girlfriend. It wouldn't shock me.
Surprise me.
Wouldn't shock me.
Wait, he's dead now, though, right?
No.
Still wouldn't shock me. Still wouldn't shock me. He would. She
You
would
want
just.
something that'll shock you? I'll send you. a clip
OJ
of
is
this.
OJ dead? Is OJ Simpson
Is he?
dead?
Yeah, OJ died
Is
last
he-
last year. I think the year before.
What?
maybe?
Right?
Huh?
Yeah, he died last year. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Rest in peace.
Oh no, do we have to rename it the Simpson effect?
I think I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
died of
he's dead.
something. Died of something. But she would just deny it anyway. She just date him, be like, "I'm dating OJ," and be like, "He's dead." I'm like, "No, he's not."
He was almost 80.
Yeah.
I have to look this up. I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God, it was over a year ago.
Today we're going to talk about 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony and her dumb fuck of a mom, Casey. 2008, the skeletal remains of Kaylee Marie Anthony were found wrapped in a blanket and placed in a laundry bag.
You
and-
motherfuckers, he's alive.
I thought
You
OJ died.
almost got me.
I thought OJ
Sorry,
died.
continue.
I thought OJ
Oh,
died.
okay. Is there more than one O.J. Simpson? Because I am pulling up dead currently.
Yeah, OJ Simpson died.
Yeah, OJ.
He
No,
absolutely
he's not.
passed away.
He is.
Yeah, he
is
absolutely
aged-
passed away.
He's 76 years old and he lives in Las Vegas.
Are you?
Oh.
Are you?
Oh, no. You know what? No, okay. He just doesn't want to acknowledge it. All right. Just be chill.
Mike, he died April 10th,
Oh wait,
2024.
no. Yep. Okay, he is dead. Nope. OJ's dead. You heard it here first.
It's breaking news, everyone.
Prostate cancer.
Yeah, because I remember the
that's what
big
it
thing where
was.
they had like a bunch of people in his house signing NDAs before he died. So even after he died, they couldn't tell the truth about him fucking killing his wife. Like I'm pretty sure I remember reading that somewhere.
Well, he
Anyways,
wrote a book about how he did it, right?
well, we could go into the OJ thing, but he did write a book, like saying if I did it, and they
But
kind of
we're
like
not here to talk about OJ. We're here to talk about Casey Anthony. Get back to it, bitch.
I will,
Yeah.
I will.
Maybe
I
one
will.
day. Maybe one day we'll do an O.J. episode.
Yeah, OJ will hire us and everything. It'll be great. In 2008, the skeletal remains of Kaylee Marie Anthony were found wrapped in a blanket and placed in a laundry bag in a wooded area near the Anthony family residence. Her mother,
Did you say
Casey,
skeletal?
skeletal.
Also, you're starting with the
Skeletal.
finding of
Sorry.
the remains.
Yeah.
That came so much later. The finding of
This
the
is just a
skeletal
quick
remains.
little summary to get everyone hooked.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Fuck,
derail.
fuck me. Fuck me. Sorry.
It's okay. You're hooked. See how hooked you are? You're like, what?
I'm so hooked. I was like, you're wrong. That's not how it starts.
Are there going to be any more spooky skeletons? You just should give me a trigger warning first.
I will give a trigger warning whenever there are skeletons, okay? And our
Spooky
trigger warning
skeletons.
is any spooky skeletons, you're right?
Okay, so now say that's how they found her.
Trigger warning.
That was really fucking intense.
They found her spooky skeleton.
Okay.
They found her spooky skeleton.
And I'll restart. You're right. In 2008, the spooky skeletal remains of Kaylee
Ugh.
Marie Anthony were found wrapped in a blanket and placed in a laundry bag in a wooded area near her house. Her mother, Casey, was charged with first-degree murder, and the government sought to get her the death penalty. After a highly publicized 6-week trial, Casey Anthony was found not guilty of her daughter's murder. What we're trying to do today is go through the evidence of the Casey Anthony case and decide if Casey actually killed Kaylee or not. And if we do come to the conclusion that she didn't do it, then we try to figure out who did. Can we do that today?
Also, did she steal her friend's checkbook and get rearrested when she was out on bond for that crime? It's very important.
It's a setup, Mike.
It's part of it for sure.
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
I'm going to give you guys a hint. This is super easy mystery. I think we can solve this very easy today.
Casey Anthony did it. She killed her little sweet little girl.
I do love that Jeremy is taking the Casey Anthony's innocent fucking angle because I find
He
it nearly
believes it.
impossible.
He's not taking it. He believes that.
I know who did it.
wholeheartedly.
Okay, so even if like she for sure did it, can we at least like not indict her for having done it? Because
That's what I'm saying, RJ.
who amongst us would not be a murderer of a spooky
Trigger warning.
That was really fucking intense.
skeletal child? I wouldn't want that in my house either.
Crawling all over the ceilings.
Yeah, a little skeleton? Gross.
Turning
Singing
off your
songs
TV
about
while you're
it?
trying to watch your shows.
Yeah.
We're not even 5 minutes into this, and we're already calling Casey a skeleton and she should die. I love it.
You
Okay.
did.
I
You
know.
did. It's
I said we as the collective, all of us.
listeners, play it back. He said her spooky
Trigger warning.
That was really fucking intense.
skeletal remains were found.
It's
Okay.
He even said spooky.
Yes.
That's how you know it's real spooky.
I mean,
Okay,
I don't
you know
think
it's
you should have said that. I
That's how
think
you know
that's
it's so
their
spooky.
word, but
You know it's serious when you ookie it.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
For sure. It sounds like it's Scooby-Doo fucking episode. Okay, so let's start at the beginning here. Let's go back to when it started, when Satan shot out the human pubic hair that is Casey Anthony. March 19th, 1986. Casey Marie Anthony is born in Warren, Ohio, to Cindy and George Anthony. Cindy is a nurse. I guess was
Is
a
she?
nurse. She was a nurse.
Yes.
She's retired
There you
now. She and George actually met in the hospital that she worked in. In the 70s and 80s, George was in law enforcement until he quit. Now, I don't know if that means retired, because some people said retired. Some people, like articles, say quit. Even if it does mean he retired quite early, and that's quitting to me anyway. So he quit. I'm just going to say quit.
I can probably answer that. Florida cop? That was probably strongly encouraged to retire.
Oh, he's an American
rough.
hero.
No, he was a cop in Ohio, actually, before.
Oh, Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's worse.
Some people say that he quit because Cindy, they had their first kid, Lee. He was born in 1981, and Cindy said his job was too dangerous, so he had to like retire or quit or whatever. But I've also seen that he had to quit
For
because
other people.
Isn't that just like a woman telling you to leave your career? The
Right.
thing that you put all this time into.
You're here as a cop in Portsmouth, Ohio.
It's my dream, Cindy.
This one here is another one that I heard, though. Some people say that George quit because he was involved in a car accident on the job that killed 2 passengers in the other car. So he was a police officer who killed 2 people in a car wreck.
Yeah, he was trying to pit maneuver someone for running a stop sign.
Yeah,
Oh, see, I thought he threw the spikes out on a rando and made them crash the car.
No, that's how he killed that one homeless person.
Oh, okay. We justified. Completely justified. Thin blue line.
Thin blue line.
Yeah.
Thin blue line. Correct. Either way, he quits. And what he does after that, he gets into car sales, working for his dad. at the Anthony Auto Sales, which
He looks like a fucking car salesman
Listen.
if you see a picture of him.
yeah, for sure.
You could ram into the back of this motherfucker at 80 miles an hour and only kill 2 people.
I can promise you,
That's-
firsthand experience.
That's why I thought it was weird that if he killed 2 people in a car accident, then quit to sell cars. Maybe Cindy made him quit. I don't fucking know.
Who better to know the ins and outs of vehicular safety?
Of a Volkswagen.
I wish I had anti-lock brakes like this does.
2 souls were lost.
George actually went to work for his father under the impression that he would take over the family business. Apparently, George and his father didn't get along well at work because they got in a fight at work, like fist fight, and George ended up throwing his dad through some pane glass windows.
Oh my God, Lucky.
Needless to say, George got fired.
He humiliated his father. What a disgraceful boy.
What are you kidding? That would, can you imagine being able to throw your father through a window? Am I the only one that would excite?
I mean, he was probably standing next to the window and he just gently shoved him, like the time that my brother pushed me through a wall. My butt is huge, and so it just went through the wall when he did that. It's probably the same thing.
You're probably right.
In all fairness, you deserved it, Mike.
No, I didn't.
Also, probably. When he gets fired, his dad fires him. You know what he says? He goes, "You know what? It's not going to stop me." Puts a second mortgage on his house so that he can open up his own car sale business. That'll show you, Dad. And it's called George Anthony Auto Sales. That fails by 1989. He's done. And they lose their house. So George and Cindy decide that they're going to leave Ohio and start a new life in Orlando so they could be near Cindy's parents.
The land of opportunity.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida. The El Dorado of America. Cindy gets a job working for an orthopedic surgeon, and they move in October of that year. They buy another house for $90,000 at 4937 Hope Spring Drive.
Oh,
Could you imagine? Could you
Oh,
imagine,
yeah.
Mike? A house in Orlando?
I could buy that right now. It's chump change. I got that lying in my desk table.
You know how many outlets I could paint over white by now if all houses were $90,000?
Oh my god! I'd probably get gutters for it too.
We wouldn't even have a podcast, Mike. We'd be entrepreneurs in the realty market.
Yeah, for sure. All of us would be Jesus. But at that time, losing their house made it very hard for them to actually afford the $90,000 house. They had to take out a high interest loan. They were paying most of Cindy's paychecks were going straight to the house. George didn't have a job.
So what you're saying is that Cindy is the one in charge right now financially. It's all on her shoulders.
Well,
Sure, man.
yes, and we will see that throughout this entire thing, Cindy's in charge of the entire
Will
house.
we?
Like insanity.
As I recall, Cindy makes a very important phone call as we continue.
So when they first moved to Orlando, everyone kept asking George if he'd get back into law enforcement. And when I say everyone, I'm assuming that means the in-laws because I don't think they really knew anybody there. But I'm just guessing that Cindy's mom and dad were like, "So you're gonna get a job again in law enforcement?" First thing he says though is he wants to become a Universal Studios mascot. That was his dream job.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be SEAL trainer.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Who didn't want to be Voldemort?
Well, this is the time of Shamu. 2000 what? 2000.
This would have been-
What's
this
our
would have been-
time frame right now?
Right now it's in the 90s, like early
Oh,
90s.
It's in the 90s.
Shamu is
No, it's-
the
Mike,
best.
it's 90s Universal, so he's launching bullets at Jaws as we're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to escape.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no!
Question.
Jaws, the shark.
Better get out of here.
I'm
This
gonna
super
get
scary
us
shark.
out of here, guys. I'm gonna get us out.
Is it plausible that George's car accident killed 2.5 people? Because that doesn't sound like someone with a fully functioning brain. Like, because he's how old at this point?
He's in his 40s. Like he's
So a 40-something-year-old man is like, I'm gonna want to work at Universal Studios. And I'm paying ice cream.
Wait, the man had dreams. The man
I
had
was only
dreams,
partially
RJ.
lobotomized.
Yeah, I don't know if he was joking, but I mean, still, Jesus Christ. He does get a job at the Orlando Sentinel. He was the paper route manager, which he's like a paper boy, but the manager of the paper boys, Mr. Manager.
Yeah,
fucking
I
awesome.
guarantee you that was a team of one, and it was called George.
The Orlando Sentinel's like
We're very familiar with the Orlando Sentinel.
it's like our National Enquirer.
Yep, and it's also free.
You don't need to.
Perfect.
Oh my god. So weird side note, but I do want to mention it. But George was married before Cindy, and I only want to mention it because it's indicative of George's personality. I think maybe I'm reading too much into it. Cindy and George were married in 1981, but George had a wife named Terry, who he married in 1972. Terry describes George as a mama's boy and a liar, and Terry's sister calls him a pussy. So
I love that.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Mike, you know how much of a Florida name a freckled tittied MILF Terry is?
Oh, they're everywhere, Jeremy. I can't get away from them.
Terry.
let me remind you, it's probably in Ohio, but still, I know what you're saying.
Just
My ex has an Aunt
Yeah.
Terry.
it's just freckled cleavage.
Yep.
That's a Terry, dude.
Sun-kissed boobies.
Drinking daiquiris in the morning. Hell yeah, dude. I love a
yeah.
Terry.
Continue, Richard.
Richard, I also need you to know that, like, from like a white trash and like living circumstances perspective, there's virtually no difference between Florida, except in Ohio, people are racist and they don't have fun.
Okay.
We have fun all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sure. Okay. I should just correct that then. You're probably right. There's a Terry in Ohio right now with like sun-kissed titties, freckled titties.
If you grew up in America in like the lower, part of like where the IRS starts to like not even bother with you, there's a Terry in your life.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So Terry's rather crude description of George to me kind of shows how he is with Cindy. I think Cindy likes the fact that he's kind of a pussy. Like in many sources, it says that Cindy basically run George's life. Casey too. They just ran all over this guy. He just seems to be there, like taking it all in and just moving according to what he should be doing, according to them.
Just a walking dolt.
Yeah, for
Just a
sure.
big old dolt.
And I watched, there was a 2024 documentary called The Lie Detector Test with George and Cindy. And they basically just take a lie detector test from all the stuff that Cindy says in her little documentary. And
I saw it.
yeah, George and Cindy are both there. And George describes Cindy as a control freak. And he even says it like, I like that she takes control of everything. I don't have to think. Like he basically says that in this documentary.
He just
George
sits in his
also
room.
struggled.
George is having a hard time with it. And anytime you watch an interview with George and Cindy, he just kind of sits there and Cindy just talks. But I also, from reading all this, I also think that George is like the tougher of the two parents. Like if he had his way, he would have punished Cindy a lot of the time. He would have told her like, you're not allowed to do shit like this. But Cindy would just be like, oh, whatever, we'll just cover for you. And you'll see like Cindy is a fucking enabler of Casey all the time. And we're going to get through a lot of that as you're going. Let's go back to her life. So Cindy was known as a bright and personable young girl with many friends. Casey had decent grades, and she was very close with her brother Lee.
Very close.
Some would say too close.
Incredibly close.
He would say that for sure.
HBO close?
Yeah, Cinemax close.
Game of Thrones close.
Yeah, so both Cindy and George worked like late hours, and they had to spend a lot of time like with each other, and they just got to be good friends. And she was active in her school, participating in school sports and activities. The Antonies were basically living like a cookie cutter American suburb life. During Casey's middle school years, George injures his knee at work.
Trying to get a promotion.
Whoop, got him.
There it is.
Take that, George, you fucking dick sucker.
I love Orlando.
Just call me Jaws. He hurts his knee and then he gets fired from his job. Usually people, when they get hurt for a company, companies never fire injured workers, eh? They just let them get workers' comp, figure out something for them. I just find that funny. He gets hurt and he gets fired. Then George, after the first rehab of his knee, George gets a job at a pest control company, and that barely lasts because he trips over a curb and hurts his knee again. So,
bitch.
Yeah.
Insurance fraud.
I work in pest control. That's like my main job.
And insurance fraud.
What a little bitch.
George is injured at home. He's not doing his rehab properly. And George gets a hold of one of Cindy's credit cards and he starts to online gamble.
Nice.
George,
Yeah. Go
Like
go
an
all the
American.
way, George. Don't even try to do better.
I know how I'm gonna support this family.
Yeah, exactly. I guarantee he had that thought. Like,
It's just a stopgap until I get the costume at Universal Studios. Man.
Listen, once I flip all of these Pokemon cards, we'll be fine.
you guys called it. He made a bunch of money. They lived happily ever after and had a bunch of money. No. George loses tens of thousands of dollars and puts his family into crippling debt. And George tells no one. So George is keeping secrets, like leading into a gambler life, like some sort of rogue where nobody knows what he's doing, just losing all this money. Kind of like his daughter does later on when she starts to lead a second life. So Casey's now in high school. George is at home injured, putting the family in debt. Nobody really knows. Apparently in high school, Casey was a goody two-shoes little girl, didn't like drinking, got mad at people for smoking weed. You know, one of those fucking kids that were like that. Like, why do you guys...
Nerd.
Nerd. That's
Fucking
the word.
nerd.
Nerd,
Fucking
dweeb.
That's what that word is. You're right. People say she wasn't a gang, like she wasn't super annoying with it, but she just didn't do it. And she still had lots of friends. She went to parties, like I said, got decent grades. The only weird thing her high school friends would say is that in high school, Casey got
She
in a
hates
habit-
babies. She just hates babies. Every time we see a baby.
Not a fan. Yep.
Yeah, no, I wish that was what it was, but no, they said she started lying, and she just lied about mundane shit. But people knew she was lying, and they just went, "Whatever." Like, that's Casey just making shit up. But it was weird, compulsive, pathological.
Some could say a learned trait.
I learned very much so.
Just a fun quirk.
Silly Casey. Always lying.
Always lying about everything and always.
Yeah, and this continues like for the rest of her life. You're gonna see like during this time, high school is when Cindy finds out about George's gambling. I'm imagining Cindy's super pissed. They don't really get into it that much, but it puts strain on the relationship for sure. Somehow they stay together. I don't know. Fucking crippling debt. My wife put. I don't know what we do.
Girth.
That's hard. Imagine.
No, Richard, if Sarah did that to you,
Yeah, fucking hundreds of thousands.
you would stay with her. It wouldn't matter.
You're probably right.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Richard is punching so far above his weight class. It's an indecent
Richard
universe.
is punching his wife.
Yeah.
He's punching her left and right. You found a smoke show.
Yeah, Richard, you should be allowed to just wear a picture of your wife in lingerie on your shirt all the time.
I do.
And then
Everybody
everyone
wants to
will
see
be
it.
like, yeah.
No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my.
It
Always
was-
into clown stuff.
It's not even the handsome Bill Skarsgård
That's
version.
that's my wife.
It's
That's
Tim
my wife.
Curry.
Well, the hair's a little bit similar.
It's similar, yeah. Yeah, so Casey, I guess all this turmoil at home, Casey starts skipping classes and stuff like that. So much so that by the time she's supposed to graduate, she's half a credit shy and she is not invited to the graduation ceremony. And she doesn't tell anybody. Not until the last minute when her mom gets suspicious about a week before and asks her, "Hey, aren't you graduating soon? Where's your cap and gown? Where's all that stuff?" And Casey just says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get it. I'm gonna get it soon." They give it to us like the day before, Mom. Don't worry about it. And this is what Casey does. She pushes a lie right to the fucking max as far as you can every time. So school calls 3 days before graduation, and they wanted to talk to the parents about Casey's attendance and how she's not going to graduate. And Cindy and George are both like, "What the fuck? We didn't know this is happening. You're only shy by half a credit. Isn't there any options?" And by this time, the school's like, "No, we've told Casey all the options."
Despite the past injury, the dad pulls out the knee pads. There must be a way.
How much will this credit cost?
How about 0.75 credits for this one, boss?
If the school didn't call, I totally believe Casey would have just pushed it right to graduation day. So George says, "Hey, I want to see those grades. Pass them to me." And Casey's 18 at this point, so she has to like sign off on her parents getting her school grades now. So her parents don't get any of them. You figure like her parents would be fucking losing their mind. The thing that happens is Cindy just says, "Hey, but like it's 3 days away. We already have people invited to come watch you graduate, Casey. What are we going to do here? Your grandparents are in town from Ohio to watch you walk down the aisle. You have a grad party planned. You already have received graduation gifts." So Cindy and Casey decide together to not say anything to anyone and just let it happen.
Together,
Yeah,
as a team.
as a team, they make this choice.
A mother-daughter duo of crime, if you will.
Yeah, I see what you're doing, and I like it. So during the ceremony held at her high school, Colonial High School, her grandparents see that Casey isn't dressed up in her cap and gown, and that Casey isn't with her friends on the stage. So she mentions it to Cindy, and Cindy covers for Casey and says to the grandparents, "Oh, don't worry, the school just made a mistake. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And they still have a graduation party, even though she didn't graduate. And Casey never goes back to school. She is a dropout, and she keeps all the grad gifts that she gets. 2004. This is 2004.
What a whore!
Like George sits there, lets it happen, like George does.
He's a cuck.
Very much so. Her parents try to get her a GED. She doesn't want to do that. She wants to become a photographer.
Wait.
Yeah.
How does one's parents get them a GED?
She just wants her to like push her into like going to school, like get a GED. You got to do something.
No. George was in a wig sitting at the library, poring over books.
You're
with a
right on
name
it.
tag that just says Casey on it. And it's not even fucking spelled right.
I want to be a photographer. I'm going to take pictures of graduations.
Girls on film.
Yeah, George just goes in trying to get the GED, but he gets slowly slips into like blackjack. Like I would have gotten it, but I lost another 150,000. Like, anyways, so yeah, she wants to become a photographer. So she does pursue that in a way. She gets a job working with Kodak
Black.
at Universal Studios to take pictures of people as they walk around the park, like selling them back to these people, like on rides.
Outskirts? Or...
Maybe. That wouldn't shock me. Anyway, she was actually well respected this job. Her boss took her aside and told her that you're doing a really good job. We want to put you through the management training program. You could manage one of these photo booths. You know, if you're really good, you can manage the shit out of this. So things were looking not terrible for Casey at this point. And then she gets pregnant.
The job application. I'm sorry. The job application for getting the promotion is like, well, we ask people to not have kids. So
And then she gets pregnant in November 2004. We don't know exactly when. Casey being Casey tells no one. She just lies, just keeps it a secret. I guess it's lying by omission. She didn't really lie because she didn't say anything, but
Well, she tells her boy, like she does a bunch of stuff, right? As soon as she finds out that she's pregnant, she tells her boyfriend that it's his. He's like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "No, it was somebody, it was somebody else." And then it goes through this long list of people, probably four different stories.
she doesn't even have a boyfriend at this point yet. So she just gets pregnant by somebody. We don't really know who. And she just keeps it a secret. And then she gets a boyfriend. She might not have known. Like, maybe I'm being hard on her because I know she fucking lies all the time. Maybe she didn't know right away. She found out later and she's keeping it a secret later. But, like, I don't know. She doesn't tell anybody in her family that she's pregnant for months. Cindy had suspicions, even confronts Casey about it. Casey tells her mom that she's a virgin, so there's no way she could be pregnant. Cindy believes her. So during the first week in January 2005, so a couple months after she got pregnant, Casey meets a guy named Jesse Grund at Universal.
hell yeah, Jesse.
Jesse Grund.
Oh, Jesse. That's good news when your daughter comes home and she goes, "I met a man. He treats me so well. His name is Jesse."
We have a lot of Jessies in Florida.
Oh yeah,
We sure do.
That's another
Jesse's and Terry's just running around.
name. It's weird how they come up in this story. So yeah, he works at the park with Casey. So they start to date, and 2 weeks into the relationship, Casey tells Jesse that she loves him. "I love you." I feel like she knows she's pregnant. Just trying to be like, "You're gonna be a dad," but not without telling him yet. He immediately breaks up with her. So they're only together for a couple weeks. Casey isn't done with Jesse though. She gets Jesse's brother a job at the Kodak booth with her, and then she starts to hang around Jesse's house. Like she's hanging out with Jesse's brother, so like whatever, Jesse's there, but it's because I'm hanging out with your brother, not you. A little creepy.
Get over it.
Yeah,
The
get over
world
it.
doesn't revolve around you. I'm hanging out with your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Jealous?
So Jesse's dad, Pastor Richard Grund,
Dick Grund.
Dick Grund, yeah.
That's the third dick we need.
Hey guys, write that down. RJ, write it down.
Pastor Grund meets Casey a couple months later in June 2005. He notices right away that Casey's pregnant, and he asks Jesse, like, "Do you notice there's something here? You see something? She's a little pregnant, I think." Jesse tells his dad that Casey looks fat, I get it, but she's just having quote unquote female problems. because that's what she's been telling him, and he's dumb.
You know how women's periods make them look fat?
And pregnant.
She's 6 months
Nah,
pregnant at this point. Like, she is a 5'1", 110 pounds soaking wet. You'd see her being pregnant. Like, you're right.
You could tell she's got a heavy flow on account of those leaky nipples.
Yeah, when your period gets so backed up, it comes out your tits. We all know that.
Everyone knows that. It's
Everyone-
common
Oh
knowledge.
man, I hate bloody tits. They're the worst.
I don't want to mansplain periods, but that's
Whoa,
fucking true.
whoa! You some kind of fucking pussy? You won't go down on a woman's tits when she's on her period?
Hey, Paul, I had a question for you. I just was licking on my wife's nipples. They tasted like copper. I was
There's a whole bunch of pennies in there.
well, son, let me tell you something about the birds and the bees.
I'm gonna go gamble now.
Goodbye, son.
Goodbye.
Learn how to count to 21. I love you.
Yeah. It's so crazy because like I said, she's just tiny. It's not like she's like a big like I didn't know I was pregnant woman. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
she's tiny.
you fucking knew.
She's very tiny. Should I share a thing to the Zoom?
If
Wait,
you
is this the point? Wait, Jeremy. Wait, what is the time and the place?
this is the time. This is the place.
I sent you an image. Share it with the gang. She is
Oh,
tiny.
that's wow.
She's got weird boobs, too.
Okay,
Nothing
wait.
wrong with that.
She's got very pointy shoulders.
Pointy shoulders is the first thing I also noticed because I'm not a pig.
Wow.
All right, so are we showing this? Because I'll look.
Mike, send it to the group.
She's got a dick halfway in her mouth in this image.
Cause I'll look.
I did my research, fellas. You told me what the thing was about. I did
Oh
my
my
research.
God.
All right.
She's
All right,
tiny.
let's
About a month later, in July 2005, the Anthony family went to South Carolina to attend an uncle's wedding. At this point, Casey hadn't told anyone about being pregnant or admitted to anyone about being pregnant. She's 7 months pregnant, and her parents still don't want to admit out loud that she was. They knew. Cindy at least knew. She just didn't want to do like the whole like my high school dropout daughter's pregnant and still living at home. Like that's hard to tell your family. So they're just not acknowledging it. So at the wedding, family members start going up to Casey and be like, congratulations. It's awesome that you're having a baby. This is phenomenal. Great news. How come nobody told me? Cindy starts to deny it for Casey, saying everything under the sun to excuse it, saying it's like she's just gaining weight or she's retaining water. She even said to one of the family members, she has a tumor.
It's a tumor.
A tumor. No,
Also,
guys, don't even stress about it. It's just a
The
tumor.
image is in the chat. If you want to look at that, Richard, I put it in the chat on here.
Oh, you don't have to.
I put it in the chat.
Shh. Yeah, it's totally in the chat. Okay. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, everyone.
What are you talking about? What do you mean a 5 minute? No, thank you. What is she made out of? Fucking GI Joes?
Do you see that shoulder?
She's a Lego person.
She's got a very sharp shoulder.
In the way that they hang, though, it's very it's like a milk jug.
You're right. She does have like when they advertise GI Joes to like they can move all directions. Like her arm, it looks like it's a ball joint.
Do you think the guy wondered if the firmness of her hand around his dick was similar to the amount of pressure she put on her daughter's throat?
There is everything that you're saying or thinking about that man who fucked her is like, I'm gonna find out if it's true after this experience.
Yeah.
And he was like, please leave. Please go.
Well, I think if anything, he knew for sure she was either going to swallow or spit. So,
I don't know how accurate that is, but I hope it is because that's funny to me because she's so desperate. She's such a fucking loser. Okay. So her mom's saying she has a tumor. Don't worry about it, whatever. There is a picture of her out there of her at the fucking wedding. And she looks fucking pregnant. Like how would anybody not think she's pregnant? Anyway, so they get home after that wedding. Cindy confronts Casey about being pregnant. This time, Casey admits to it. She figures, I guess, it's right to the wire at this point. They got to find out at some point because I live here. And Cindy's pumped about it. She's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be a grandma. I'm so happy. We have to tell your dad.
So glad it's not a tumor.
it's a second chance.
So they both decide, like, we got to tell him your dad's going to be pissed about this. We got to both sit down and have a talk with George. So they have this, like, George, we have to have a conversation with you conversation. Sit him down, tell him that she's pregnant. George,
It's
also
a
related.
different kind of tumor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's the human kind of tumor. It's more of a parasite.
Well, folks, the excision was a success.
So George is pumped too, and then they start baby proofing the house. They start getting stuff ready for a baby's coming soon. When they ask who the father was, she tells her parents that it's her boyfriend, who's not a really boyfriend anymore, Jesse Grund. Her parents were shocked, and then after they have this conversation, she texts Jesse and tells him, "I'm pregnant, and you're the father." That's the text. Jesse does a little bit of math in his brain, figuring out that this doesn't seem like I could be the dad. You're 7 months in. We dated 5 months ago. Jesse's freaked out, and he told her that even if he was the dad, he wasn't ready. She should give it up for adoption. She refuses, and she says that's not an option. My mom won't let me, or my mom doesn't want me to.
It's good to know that Jesse was pro-life, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got to put it up for adoption.
What are you gonna do? Kill it?
No, you monster.
Oh man.
Oh my God. So Reverend Grund, he hears about this from his son, and he strongly encourages Jesse to get a DNA test before committing to having a kid with someone that you're not sure you're the father of the baby. She keeps trying to get him on the like birth certificate when she gives birth, and he just pays the $550 to get a DNA test and finds out that he's not the father of Kaylee, so he knows that for sure.
You know how excited he was circa 2011?
Yeah, after this whole thing, yeah, for sure. He was like, thank God.
It's just after the bubble. He doesn't have a kid. He's riding high.
2008, he bought a house. He's really sweating it.
He's set. The dude's got everything on fleek.
Yeah, this unbridled rage. He's like, oh, thank God it wasn't my kid. Oh, thank God.
So now that they know Jesse's not the father, Casey starts to say that the father was an ex-boyfriend of mine and he died in a car accident. And she even clipped out this guy's obituary from the paper. She had it on her. She's like, see, this is the guy. He died in a
She
car
starts
accident.
going through all these people, and one of them was a dead guy.
He died in a car accident with one other person, and a cop was driving.
But I find it crazy. She finds this guy's like obituary and like shows it to her mom. See, don't worry about it. He's dead. We don't need to worry about the dad.
That's Florida genius right there. That's a smart girl.
She still to this day kind of like no one except for Casey really knows who the father is. Like even to this day, most recently in the miniseries Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies from 2022, Casey says that she was raped at a party and that's who the father was. She didn't want to say the guy's name. She didn't know if he was because she was drugged at the time. She said she woke up half naked and soon after she found out she was pregnant. I don't fucking believe her just because she can't help but lie. She just lies.
That sounds like the most realistic explanation of what happened, though. She got raped at a party because she was being a boozy little bitch, and that's why.
It's her fault. You should have seen what she was wearing. Mike, keep going. I'm behind you, Mike. Keep saying your shit.
That's right. That's right.
I don't even believe that because if that's true, if she got raped, I feel like being raped would have been an amazing fact for the fucking sympathy at the trial.
I really thought you were going to say experience. I don't know.
I mean,
why.
it could be.
I was like, what the fuck are we doing now?
No, but if she would have said she was raped during trial, that would have been perfect for sympathy. She didn't say it once. Like I feel like that would have been like something to help her get off from this whole fucking thing. Anyways,
Because she knows.
I think she knew
for a fact. Well, no. She knows what happened, and the thing is, she absolutely 100% is not going to change her story enough times once TV cameras are on. So she understands that she has to stick to her fake fucking story the moment that she starts it. Once it's on camera, because she can't say to millions of people, oh no, that's not how it happened. Actually,
she could,
as I recall, oh, it's coming to me now. It was Jared from Subway. It was the whole time.
Child.
I guess you're right because She's gotten off from this. She could just tell everyone she killed him now. She could just tell everybody everything.
I'll tell you when she got off. She got off when
A
she knew who
bunch.
the dad was. When
No,
he
wait,
was.
she got off. She got off at 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It looks like.
He held
Based
out.
on the
What a
video.
champion.
There are like so many theories on who the father of Kaylee is, and I'll bring up a bit of them later, but they just get annoying after a while. Like, anyways, we'll move on. Lee, still living at the house, doesn't get told about Casey being pregnant until days before she has the baby, which I find crazy. Like, how fucking dumb is Lee? Like, they start putting little plug blockers around the house and the outlets, and Lee's all offended. Like, do you think I'm going to shock myself at 28 years old, Mom? Like, what does he think's happening when they're doing this shit?
The Florida drugs.
Yeah,
Should we
probably.
know that was his sentiment?
No, but I know that
Oh.
he didn't know, and he lived at the house. Like, how did you not know?
Allegedly, he stuck forks into sockets.
Yeah.
I want to live in a world where somebody's like that, like effortlessly self-centered, that they think the baby proofing is for them. That I put my head on the coffee table one time. You don't need those pool noodles.
So this brings us to the birth of Kaylee Marie Anthony. She's born on August 9th, 2005. In the
miracle.
delivery, in the delivery room is both George and Cindy. What the fuck? Why is your dad and mom in the delivery room with you? Maybe your mom, because you don't really have a boyfriend or something, you have someone there. But I just feel like that's weird for your dad to be.
I kept everybody out of the delivery room for my daughter.
Well, do you think the father should be present?
Nope. I pushed everybody out. I said, nope. This is my moment. I made this. This is my
Including your wife?
special moment. And
Get out of here, Roman.
And she was delivered in the hallway.
the midwife shoved my head forcibly, grabbed the back of my neck, and shoved it into my at the time wife's vagina as she was giving birth to our daughter. And she says, "Look at it, look at it." And I was like,
I'm looking. What? Anything else?
and if there was anybody else in the room with me, I fear she would have done the same thing to her dad, to her mom, to her siblings. She would have done all of those things to those people.
Witness the beauty of nature.
So fucking weird. When the time comes to give the newly born Kaylee to her mom, Cindy says, "I'll take her," and she ends up being the first person to hold the baby.
And the last, in my opinion.
Oh, Jimmy.
And then she describes it like having Casey all over. It was like having Casey all over again. So fucking weird. By late 2005, things are getting real tense around the Anthony household. There's a new baby. Casey is irresponsible. They're going to have to raise them both at the same time.
American Idiot's about to come out by Green Day.
For sure. About her. George, a little bit of brightness happens around this. George gets a $60,000 check for workers' comp that he's been waiting for. The bum knee's finally paying off. Cindy's super pumped. She's like, "Oh, we're going to help pay down the house a bit. All the gambling credit is all fucked, and I'm losing the house. We lost Ohio. My credit's all fucked."
Put it all on black.
George had bad news for Cindy, though. George needed the money because he already spent it on more gambling debts. You're not wrong. So turns out the bum knee paying off, but just his gambling is not paying off. The $60K would help pay down a lot of his debts. Not all of them. Just pay down.
Prevent the other knee from being bum.
Cindy is fucking furious this time. She has had enough of George, kicks him out of the house when the Kaylee's firstborn. Lee also leaves the house around this time. Cindy starts to talk to some divorce lawyers and figures out that it would be too hard and expensive for her to get a divorce. She probably would have to pay alimony along with every other bill she pays. She's in charge of paying for. So she doesn't break up with him, but she's out. They're separated. Late 2005, Casey's maternity leave ends, and she just stops going to work and loses her job in early 2006. Doesn't tell anyone. Keeps telling people, "I'm working at Universal, guys."
Wait, she used the same thing as her dad's dream?
And as I recall, that comes into play
big time.
during the trial.
It's my favorite part of the whole thing.
Well,
is
then
what she does.
I'll allow you to do it.
During the trial, or when Kaylee's really young, Casey is considered to be a pretty good mom by a lot of people. Like at the trial, many people testify that Casey and Kaylee were the best of friends. Kaylee was always fed, never yelled at, never wanted anything. They both seemed to love each other a lot. no one at trial testified anything bad about Casey's treatment of Kaylee. So that just get that out. Like she wasn't an abusive person, according to anybody.
I do love that as like she's a great mom.
Wait.
Every time I see the kid, it's got chicken nuggets in its mouth. Kid's
Richard,
great.
sweet Richard, why did the trial come to pass?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
She's a great
Okay,
mom. She never
I
yelled at her in front of us.
I just want to make sure that you were on the right track. You're like, she's in trial. I was like, wait, stuff happened.
We're not at the trial yet. I'm just saying that when Kaylee's young, people had a image of Casey being a good mom. That's all. I don't want to put that out there that she's not abusing this baby. The baby's living perfectly A-okay.
She's a great mom. She bought dino nuggies instead of regular nuggies. She loves her kid.
Now, here's where a lot of things get weird in the trial. Like this, we're not in the trial yet, but I'm just going to talk. We're kind of going.
You keep saying trial. You're giving me anxiety.
Michael is a very literal man. You're throwing him off.
I'm going in order, but then when they say something that happens in trial, I don't want to repeat 10 different things. So I'm just going to say at trial they talk about this, and then I'll mention it briefly later.
All right. We're on the same page. Go ahead. Continue. I'll keep
despite what the media wants you to think, when Kaylee is born, and I'm saying this earlier, first year and a half, Casey is basically at home with her most times. And if she does leave the house, Kaylee was coming with her. She isn't a big party girl. That was portrayed by the media. Not yet. Later on, she gets pretty crazy, but she was kind of boring. She was living with her parents, or she was going to her boyfriend Jesse's house. She was going to Jesse's house. And she was leaving.
Fucking Jesse.
Fucking Jesse. And
I
Terry.
created a whole thing in my mind. Yeah, Jesse and Terry.
She would be leaving Casey with Jesse's parents or her parents every day while she pretended to go to her job at Universal, but she'd be home at like a reasonable time. It's not like she was out partying all day and then came home drunk or something. She was sober when she got home. She just left her there and went and did whatever the fuck she did. I can't even figure out what she did during the days. I do see one story where she got super smashed on her 21st birthday, but I feel like that's an American thing where you turn 21, you just get fucked up. Here it's
RJ.
19. Drinking age in New York is
sorry.
younger.
I was looking at magic cards.
Oh shit! What magic cards you looking at? You looking at Coma, the World Eater?
The ancient silver dragon, and debating whether or not that would be worth it.
Okay, what commander are you running right now?
Urani, one of the new ones.
Hey,
Who?
Richard, how you doing, buddy? Do you do?
Shut up! I'm talking to RJ about magic cards. Shut up!
I don't know anything about it either, Richard.
All right, listen. Scarab God as the commander running straight zombie.
All right, I hate both of you guys.
Tokens.
Okay, Casey and Jesse get back together. Casey and Jesse get back together in late 2005.
I'm a dragon guy.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
You would be. Okay.
Hey, Richard, have you started using 3-in-1? You know, me and you, we're starting to get gray in our beards. Like, what do you think about that?
I am okay with it. I like getting old. I hated being a kid.
I bet you love the new decks that are the new
God.
that I can't. Oh, fuck. The new dragon cards are coming out. You
Casey
little bitch.
and Jesse.
Fuck you.
Casey and Jesse get back together in late 2005. Both Casey and Jesse want to move in with each other, but both of them still live with their fucking parents, and neither of their parents want anything to do with them getting together. So, despite both of them being jobless and without a home of their own, Jesse proposes to Casey on New Year's Eve 2005, to which Casey emphatically says yes. Kaylee would have been just months old. Jesse knew that he wasn't the bio dad to Kaylee, but he was still going to raise it as his own. Unfortunately, Jesse and Casey's engagement didn't last. In May 2006, Casey breaks up with Jesse, telling him that she couldn't be with him because he loved Kaylee more than he loved her, which was a weird thing to say. And you should probably be happy about that.
I think that's just you should always love the person you're in a relationship with the most, right?
You know, RJ, if you were to I had a kid with my significant other, and I do catch myself loving the child more unconditionally than I love my partner, I would say, yeah, I can imagine those feelings exist. If you are a step in that situation, you go, hey, babe, I really love you, but your daughter you had with another man, that's my first love.
And I would say
that's where things get
is
weird.
A great dragon commander.
I fucking hate
Cavalia,
you. Okay.
You could bring in a lot of dragons.
Another father of Kaylee is mentioned by Casey around this time. A guy named Jesus that she said she had a one-night stand with at Universal. A lie. There's no fucking Jesus that worked there. Then it was a guy named Josh. Josh had a wife and kids. Casey claimed that she didn't want to tell him about Kaylee because it would ruin his family. Another lie. There's no guy named Josh. In the summer of 2005, she clips out another article of another guy who died in a car accident named Eric Baker. Then she starts to tell other people that Eric was the father of Kaylee. But don't worry about him. He's already dead. Another lie. Another car accident dead guy lie. Like, she tells so many lies that she can't even keep track of them all.
Well, hold on. I mean, okay, but like car accidents are an incredibly under like rated.
Underrated.
Like yeah, you should try it one time, Richard.
Just give it a shot.
They happen
No,
all the fucking time, dude.
It's not like murder suicide. It's just a car crash.
Yeah, like thousands of people die every year in car accidents. You're gonna tell me Casey Anthony didn't fuck like 300 or 400 of them?
Honestly, you're probably right.
She is from Clearwater, right? We're talking about the west coast of Florida.
She's not from Clearwater.
From
but
is a strong word.
Orlando.
An immigrant to Florida is more of a
Well, we all know
stronger-
how you feel about immigrants, Mike.
Jimmy, fuck you.
So, in April 2006, Casey starts to tell her family and friends that she got a second job at the Sports Authority. She currently has 0 jobs, and she's telling people she has 2. So she uses one of her friends, Lauren Gibbs, to babysit Kaylee one night, claiming that she had an evening shift at the Sports Authority. Lauren babysat Casey out of the goodness of her heart because she felt bad for her single mom friend. And then that night, Lauren has some troubles with Kaylee, and she wants to call her at her new job at Sports Authority to ask her some questions. When she calls, the person at the other line claims that there's no one named Casey Anthony that works there. Lauren, when Casey gets back from whatever the fuck she's doing, not working at Sports Authority, confronts Casey about where she was, and she said she's at her job. She says, I called you at your job. They say you don't work there. Casey lies again, saying that there was a communication error at work.
I love her. She's great. She's always thinking on her toes. It's good quality in a woman.
Lauren didn't believe her, and free babysitting's done. So even though Jesse and Casey had broken up, that didn't stop Casey from dropping Kaylee off with him and her parents so she could watch her one day a week. Jesse had a new job working at Progressive Insurance and only had 1 day off a week of work. And Jesse said, you know what, I miss Kaylee so much, and I'll watch her on that 1 day for you, because I know you work.
Is that strange to anybody else?
Yes, very much
That's
so.
a kid that's not yours at all. She left you pretty quickly into everything, and you're just obsessed with it. I have to see this child.
I think Casey is fucking like wild in the sack, and she just fucks him every once in a while, and he like is enthralled by that. Like,
I've seen the
I'll watch
video.
your kid.
She's
Well,
great at
we've
it.
seen, we've
I've seen the video.
act-
She knows what she's doing.
Have you ever seen that movie with Casey Affleck, Gone Baby Gone?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's kind of like the impression I get, is just that like he probably just feels really bad for the little girl having her as a mom.
For sure. And I agree with that too, even more because her parents start to see that he's taking her 1 day a week. And Deborah Grund, she goes, oh, well, you know what? I got 2 other days I can watch. She's like, I'll help you out, single mom. So even she's calling her grandma, like,
Yeah, unless
Grandma
there's
Deborah.
an alternate ending to Gone Baby Gone that I missed where Casey Affleck rapes the little girl at the end before the credits, but
That's in the bonus
Oh,
features.
Yeah, you had to watch
okay,
the
all right.
European version.
my bad. I should do that more often, I guess.
It kind of seems like he and his family, right? Pastor Dick Grund, right?
Yeah.
They're a religious family. Like, even if it's not their blood, they've still found themselves in this situation where they can help this poor lost child.
Well, I would agree with you except for this next sentence.
And then Pastor Grund, Dick Grund all over again.
I would agree with you, except
She-
for everything else I'm going to say right now.
So she has her ex and their family watching her 3 days a week while she's going out doing whatever. Reverend Grund puts an end to this a few months in. He's like, nope, Casey's taking advantage of us. No, done. Find other arrangements for childcare. So now she loses her friend to free watching. Her mom and dad say, I'm not watching her as much. She loses her ex's parents. So she, she's lying to try and get people to watch, and she has no one. So she is still telling everyone she has a job at Universal. She's lying, which I'm going to say that again. She pretended to work at Universal Studios, meaning she got up every morning, got Kaylee ready to go to the babysitter's house, and pretended to go to work. And when she ran out of people to watch Kaylee during the day, she just started bringing Kaylee with her for whatever she went. But since she had no one to watch them and she needed to cover that she wasn't going to work, she just made up a babysitter. So now she starts telling people she found childcare, a nanny named Zenaida Fernando Gonzalez, or Zanny the nanny, which everyone believes her. Everyone's like, yeah, she's found a fucking Zanny the nanny. And she came into picture early on. This shit ended quickly with all the people watching Kaylee.
I
About a couple
remember
months.
about this nanny, Richard. Continue.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna interject real quick, just because sometimes I forget how white trash I am.
okay.
And I distinctly remember my grandmother was with a guy for like, I want to say like 5 years, and he cheated on her and got another lady pregnant. And somehow my grandmother ended up babysitting that baby on occasions. So
Our grandmother has outlived 5 of her husbands in a special kind of way that we still talk about as
They all died the
grandchildren.
same way.
And she also counterfeited like what, $20 million?
Wow, that's an
Wow.
awesome grandma. Did she like leave
She
you any?
counterfeited $20 million
She's
in
great.
1970s, and the plates are still hidden in the
She's
farmhouse.
a sweetheart.
Yep.
She's an American treasure.
I'm planning on doing an episode on her one day with all of the, actual news articles and everything that came out when she got she made news in Europe when she got arrested.
That's amazing. Oh, she got caught. Okay.
Oh yeah, the feds and the Secret Service, they got her for
Yeah.
counterfeiting.
She went to prison.
She said that if the money that she had made circulation, it would have not been able to be identified as counterfeit.
That's hilarious. That's fun.
That's awesome.
She also got some dirt on her warden and got him fired.
Yep,
while
she
she
got
was
her
in
own
there.
warden fired at the prison she was in while she was doing prison time.
This is fantastic. I want to be involved when you do this. So Casey claimed that Zanny was recommended to her by her friend Zach, who had a kid the same age as Kaylee. Zanny could watch them both and be perfect situation. Problem is, Zach didn't have a kid or know anyone named Zenaida. Another lie. Zach was a real person. One of the people she knew. He didn't know he doesn't have a kid. So she just lies. So Zanny would supposedly watch Kaylee while she was at work.
Xanax.
Zendaya.
That's a theory. At the time, as time goes, Zanny becomes more and more involved with Casey and Kaylee's life. Like near the end, before she gets caught, Casey starts talking about how she's moving out and Zanny's going to be moving in to watch Kaylee. Like she's getting a live-in nanny. We know like now that Zanny isn't real, but like for the next little bit, Zanny is a real person to everybody but Casey. It takes about trial before people even know Zanny is not a real person. I saw a few things as to how she came up with the name Zenaida. There was actually a lady named Zenaida Fernando Gonzalez, and she was looking at an apartment, same place Casey was looking at an apartment. She filled out like a little guest fill-out card, and apparently Casey just went and looked at all of her information on the signing card, and like, oh, I like that name. That's a good Zanny the nanny. That's one.
That's one.
Yeah, and then the other one. Actually,
Was
Zanny,
2 lots.
yeah, this Zenaida Fernando Gonzalez, she would later actually sue Casey for giving her name and making her a suspect in a missing child murder case. But the real Zanny,
She lost.
She lost the lawsuit in 2015. I've also seen that Zenaida Fernando Gonzalez was a mixture of 2 of her neighbors' names. The Anthonys lived at 4937 Hope Spring Drive. The person who lived at 4701 was named Zenaida Almodovar. And the person who lived at 4709 was named Peter Gonzalez.
Yeah. Zenaida Gonzalez.
And as we get more into this case, the fact becomes even more weird, especially since there is a real Zenaida Gonzalez out there. Where they found the body of Kaylee later on is actually between those 2 addresses, which weird. We'll talk more about that later.
When are we gonna get to the later, Richard?
We've gotten to laters. We've gotten to
I think
laters.
Laters happen constantly.
Later's happening now.
Always.
So she lies about having a nanny. She's lying about having a job and the need for a nanny. And she did this for like 2 years. The event planner lie, like that's what she said she did at Universal. Super elaborate too. She would tell all her friends that she was having tough days at work and she would ask them to watch Kaylee. She needed some time off. And then she'd make fake emails from fake bosses at work telling her she had to complete fake tasks. And then she'd show her parents, like, look at all the work I have to do, Mom. Like, she sat there and fucking made up shit in emails. It's amazing.
Very intelligent.
It's
very liar.
It's
liar, pants on fire.
It takes a special person to put all that time in.
Special in the ways of deception? Sure.
Subjective.
The amount of work she put in, she could have just had a real job. You know what I mean? Like, come on. In October 2006, Annie Downing, one of Casey's high school friends, moves into the Sawgrass Apartments Unit 218. Casey would visit this place all the time with Kaylee. I'm only telling you this because this apartment comes back into play in the craziest Casey Anthony way. In January 2007, Casey's grandfather has a stroke and he's put into a nursing home. Casey would go visit him from time to time, but had stopped in the last few months before she got busted. Casey also told her brother that she's pregnant again with a guy named Brandon Snow.
She already named it?
He's not a boy, he's a man.
Lee goes and tells his mom. Cindy's pissed. She doesn't want to take care of another fucking person around the house. So Casey decides she's going to calm her down, and she claims that she has a miscarriage on Valentine's Day. She's like, you know what? I have a miscarriage. Don't worry about it, Mom.
That is the perfect day to have a miscarriage.
I pooped it out. I pooped it in the toilet.
It was a toilet, baby.
And Casey, during this time, when Kaylee's young, she's dating so many fucking dudes. It's like super annoying just to name them all because they're in her life for like a second. But Casey just loved to fuck, is my guess. And that's not me just being
Have
like,
you seen the
complete dude.
video? I think I
Yeah.
sent it to you.
Yeah.
I sent the screenshot at least.
Yeah, I was just say, does it move? Because
I can say, do you want it to move?
My
Because
internet
mine's
bad?
moving right now.
Mine's moving.
Ah!
Yeah, honestly, that's not just me being a dude about it and watching the pornography. One of the guys that she's banging behind Jesse's back later said that she was like, when she was done boning him, she would just leave. And he said in court, he's like, I knew how the girl felt. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, so she was just out there fucking, which good
I
for
love
her.
that.
Yeah, good
It's
for
a
her.
very Floridian thing to say.
It's a trait you inherit from your mother.
Specifically.
I sincerely, like I said, lots of people, like the media made it sound like she's partying all the time. I don't think that. I just think she's out there boy crazy fucking the shit out of her and getting stressed right out. Like that's what I think she's doing, just getting fucking smashed. One of her random boyfriends at trial testified that she would constantly get calls from Cindy telling her she had to go home and watch Casey. So she was away enough where her mom's like, I'm trying to do things and you leave your kid with me.
Why did the trial start though, Richard?
We're getting there. Since she didn't
But I
actually,
feel like you're doing so much in trial. These things have happened.
since she didn't have a job, she actually had no money. In fact, she'd steal money from her friends and family. On August 9th, 2007, Kaylee's birthday, and Grandma throws her a birthday party. Casey's grandma Shirley comes to the party. At this party, Casey steals one of her grandma's checks from her checkbook. Gma Shirley notices a couple days later and goes to the police. It turns out it was Casey who stole the check. She didn't know that at first. So Shirley confronts her and to Casey. And Casey's credit, she does admit to it and she apologizes. Grandma Shirley forgives her. And this isn't the only time Casey stole money from her family and friends. She stole cash out of her mom's wallet. She stole coins from her dad's coin collection. She also stole coins from Kaylee's piggy bank.
Wait, George collected coins?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my
Here's the brand new 911 Buffalo Mint gold coin.
Where'd it go? He's like so mad about it.
God, this guy makes me want to murder my daughter.
George started a bank account for Kaylee that he'd put $60 a month into. And after Kaylee's death, he went to the account and saw that it only had $5 in it. So Casey just been stealing it.
Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. But he was going back to that fucking account. It never had more than the $5 starting balance. Every time he put it in, you go to the fucking ATM just so we could stuff more in the slots.
It probably
And RJ, you could definitely go with like a Nicobolus Dragon God.
I fucking hate you.
In
Okay.
your deck. That would
I thought
probably
I'm
work.
really loving the teamer so far.
Cindy
Oh,
also
yeah.
Cindy
Okay.
also caught Casey stealing from her
All
bank
right.
account. Casey hacked into her online account and sent herself a bunch of cash. So how does her parents not know she's like unemployed? Like she had a full-time job, she's still stealing. So Cindy confronts her about not having any money and having a full-time job and really no expenses. Casey would give her excuse after excuse. She'd be like, "My department at Universal doesn't have its budget yet. They owe me like so much money." And her mom keeps pestering her. So Casey, to get her mom off her back, forges some bank slips showing that she deposited $4,400 into her mother's account. So her mom's like, "Oh, good, I have money," and went and spent a shit ton of money. And a couple weeks later, the mortgage check bounces. And this time, it wasn't George's fault.
All right, wait. What year was this?
2005, 2007, 2007.
7. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Before the baby.
We're nowhere close to the investigation, Richard.
I feel like you could have had an online banking login in 2007.
You couldn't.
Oh, I'm sure I'm sure it
100%.
existed somewhere.
I think
100%.
that's unheard.
Yeah, so Cindy starts after this. She starts watching her money more. That doesn't stop Casey though. Casey needs to pay her cell phone bill, $350 cell phone bill. Like, what the fuck are you spending $350 on a cell phone back into? I guess it just
Well, text messages were expensive
That's
back
true,
then.
They really were.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had to,
Yeah,
And-
you want to know the craziest rub on that too? Is that text message is just text that piggybacks off of a ping that's already constantly going back and forth between your phone and the tower. So they got away with that shit for years.
Yeah, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
100%.
But so she has a $350 cell phone bill. She can't steal from mom anymore. Mom's paying attention. Dad's a degenerate gambler. Who's next? So Casey steals money from an account that was set up to take care of her grandpa in the long-term care. Gma Shirley is not stupid. She catches Casey instantly, knows it's her right away. Casey tries to apologize again. Shirley is done with her. No more talking to Shirley.
You know what it is? I bet Casey was into magic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was probably running
God.
something lame like goblins. You little
God.
bitch.
Yep. Yeah.
Probably a little bitch goblin deck. Fucking heartlet. Fucking cunt.
I say that about every goblin player. I bet you murder your
Yo,
children.
fuck yeah. Land destruction. Fuck you.
Casey has other ways of ripping people off and lying at the same time. She one time.
yeah, it's her deck of the undead. It's her undead deck. Ripping
No, that's a
everybody
cool
out.
deck.
See, that's the
Just
first
bringing
funny
everybody
joke.
back to life.
That's the first funny joke. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay.
You're welcome.
About magic. Casey has other ways of ripping people off and lying at the same time. She one time told her mom that she was going out for lunch with one of her work colleagues. And she said, Mom, come on, come with us. The friend, she said, was named Juliette Lewis.
Dreyfus.
Juliette Lewis, the same fucking as the actress's name. So they go out, her and her mom, they're at dinner, but Juliette just never shows up. I guess, you know what, Mom? I guess we'll have dinner. Oh, Mom, I forgot my wallet. I'm guessing she did this shit all the time. Like, Mom, you're just paying for supper now. Juliette was supposed to pay on the company, but she's not here now. Casey also did this with one of her boyfriends. Cindy kept pestering her to meet the boyfriend. So Casey says, yeah. And then Cindy's like, okay, well, let's have a huge barbecue. So
And then she was like, he's on his way. Oh, he died in a car accident.
no, here's the obituary. Immediately.
Oh, it's happening right now. Oh, look. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Sad. So sad.
What was his name? James Spader.
Oh, no. The country lost a great actor / boyfriend.
Oh, man. Oh, this son is a prodigy. Oh, daughter.
yeah, so she gets her mom to make this big ass barbecue. The kid doesn't show up, obviously, dies in a car accident. This happens 3 or 4 times before Casey says she broke up with him. Cindy pays for all of it. Not only that, Cindy was buying all of Kaylee's clothes. Parents were feeding them, housing them. Casey was also known to run out of gas all the time while she was driving around her white Sunfire. Like, George would always be like going out to rescue her with some gas cans. And it happened so often that George bought some gas cans and he kept them full in his garage so that if Casey called him like without gas, he'd just have it on hand. He wouldn't have to stop.
Well,
He'd
you
just
know
go
what they
get
say
it.
about Pontiac Sunfires.
They're really good for storing a small body.
Yeah.
They're really great for Floridians up to no good.
They
Yeah.
sink fast.
Yep. And they go hard.
The past couple of years between like when Kaylee's born and now, like how the fuck do they not know she has a job? She stole so much money. According to the estimate, she stole about $45,000 worth of money from friends and family. I think the reason the parents weren't really noticing is they're having their own financial problems because of fucking George's gambling. Casey would constantly be telling her friends that her parents were getting a divorce, which I don't know, they probably thought about it, but Cindy takes George back. Since they're having like relationship issues, and if you have your own problems going on, like the last thing you need to do is worry about your adult child's problems. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta be something really bad you do as a parent for your kids to show no emotion and be completely unempathetic and
Yep.
Fuck.
And steal from you as you are stealing from your family. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, you must be some pretty messed up individuals to be parents like that.
You know what, Jamie? If you think about it, you know what? Maybe it builds a monster to make a monster.
100%.
To hurt people? Is that what? Did you just say that?
I'm just saying. You think it was the dad, and I think it was
No.
the Mom.
Wasn't the dad. It was the mom.
Well, grandpa.
It was
you
the
think it was the
grandmother.
You think it was the grandpa.
Cindy. No, Cindy.
Or you think it was Cindy?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think it was Casey Anthony.
Were we supposed to reveal that right now?
We can do it whatever we want. Continue,
For sure.
Richard. Go.
So late May 2008, Casey meets a new guy over Facebook named Tony Lazzaro. He was a Long Island native going to college
Tony
at
Lasagna.
He was in the season 3 of The Sopranos.
Yep.
He was
Tony
from Long
Lasagna.
Island, going to University of Central Florida.
I went to UCF. Yo.
Hey,
yeah?
my thing, Mike, what's
UCF
going
Knights.
on?
That's what's up.
Okay, maybe you can tell me if this is a thing that you knew about. So he was a student, but he was also a party promoter in the Orlando, Florida area.
Did he promote at the library, which was a
Yeah,
bar across the
Mike
street?
Mike and Tony Lazzaro go back way back, guys.
Yeah.
Best
Did
friends.
he hang out with all the rugby players?
Because Mike was also friends with them.
Yep.
Lazzaro says that he and Casey hit it off right away, even after Tony told Casey when they first started dating that he didn't want kids, and if he did have kids, he'd want a son. So basically telling her, I don't want Kaylee. Casey still likes him. And they start to date. Lazzaro even meets Kaylee. The three, Tony, Casey, and Kaylee, all go to the mall and shop together. Casey's still out spending mom's money. Tony brings them out to dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah.
Fancy.
RJ, I'll give
Yeah.
this to you, RJ. Go ahead, joke.
That is at least 2 steps above Olive Garden. He loves this bitch.
There you go.
Hey, babe, you ever been to some place that's got 64 different options for an entree? Hey, this is the good life.
I want to be family, but with your whole family.
You don't go eating with Tony Lazzaro without a couple of fucking appetizers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm Tony Lasagna.
They call me Tony Lasagna, 36 flavor.
Of lasagna?
I'm Tony Six Cheese.
Hey. Oh, I see you, baby. You give us some spinach artichoke dip. But the baby loves it.
Hey,
That's my
unlimited soup and
baby.
salad.
I would
Hey.
kill over this baby. I know a perfect swamp you could dump a body in.
This dinner at the Cheesecake Factory is the last time that Tony says he ever saw Kaylee before. Father's Day, June 15th. We're almost at the fucking disappearance. Father's Day, June 15th, 2008. Cindy had enough of Casey. At dinner, Cindy confronts Casey about her negligence of Kaylee and the stealing of money. So for the past 5 or 6 months, Kaylee had been left with grandma from time to time in the evenings because Casey claimed she had to work. Cindy found some MySpace posts about her out at clubs having a great time in the evening.
Wait, how does this bitch know how to navigate MySpace but can't check her fucking account balance?
Probably the same way she figured out how to navigate Firefox when she's been using Internet Explorer her whole life.
Tom, it was Tom. Tom is the father of my child.
Hey, this is my baby. It's my little Parmesan. Get out of
Look,
here.
he's my #1 friend on MySpace.
You think I'm a fool? That's my gabagool.
I think what happened was Lee showed her pictures, and then what she does the whole the crazy mom thing when, like, she doesn't know how to use the internet, so she just prints them all off, and she has like a paper copies of all these pictures of her partying at night. It's like one picture at a time, like, oh yeah, you were working at Sports Authority. Didn't think so, like just slamming them down on the table.
Oh my god, that's so embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
And I was fucked by this guy. And this person. It's just all dick pics. There's no faces. Recognize this, Jesse.
She probably just wanted the line of genealogy to just fucking end because of how embarrassed she was to come from people like that.
That's why she killed her. Okay.
Yeah,
just
she was
shut
like,
it
I know
down.
what I'm gonna turn into, and I'm gonna spare you this.
That's pretty fucking horrendous. I like it. According to Lee, this argument got physical with Cindy on top of Casey on the ground, choking her out.
Now that's a sex tape I want to see.
I don't want to see that at
Oh,
all.
Jimmy.
I'm sorry. I was with you, Jeremy, until you started talking about Cindy nude. I'm out.
Cindy Lou Who, dude.
Yeah.
You don't know what she looked like back in the day, bro.
That's a child.
Well,
Aren't we all children?
I don't know. Tell the judge that and see what he says.
Just all you have
Ask
to do is,
George.
well, Well, the judge is like, well, you got a point. You got a point.
It's Clearwater.
Yeah, she's strangling her daughter. George had to step in and stop her. Weirdly enough, this is Father's
Wow,
Day.
that's ironic.
That's what I love. Like, she would have just finished her off. It would have been like such a different story.
If there was one instance of murdering your daughter, it would have saved a different instance of murdering your daughter.
For sure. This was the last time anybody ever took a photo of Kaylee that night. At some point in the evening, Cindy brings Kaylee for a swim in the above-ground pool.
The above ground pool.
Yeah, pretty sure it's before the fight because I think it would have been pretty awkward after the fight. Like, oh, I just choked your mom. Come for a swim with grandma. Like, I think it was before, but I'm not sure. Now that I got you backstory, let's start with the spirit. So the next time anyone other than Casey saw Kaylee alive was June 16, 2008. Cindy left the house early that morning to go to work at 7 a.m. George claimed that Casey left the house at 12:50 with Kaylee.
Who claimed that George left?
No, George claims that Casey left the house at 12:50 with Kaylee.
Thank
Okay,
you.
George was still home. She told him that she was dropping Kaylee off at the babysitter's. George worked the afternoon shift, 3 to 11, as a security guard at the movie theater, which is a fucking hilarious job.
He's getting closer. He's getting closer.
I did that all through high school. So fuck you guys.
Yeah, but you weren't fucking, dude. You weren't 40.
No, I was a teenager and it was awesome.
This guy sucks, dude.
Yeah. Free movies?
George fucking sucks.
I got a Pineapple Express poster from when I worked at the movie theater. Fuck you.
That's cool. That's cool. I got called retarded.
Well, you shouldn't have been so retarded.
Yeah, it's not. This is easy.
I guess not. My bad.
George is like, where's your ticket? He's 50 years old with a gambling problem.
Dude, I went to work at the movie theater one time on shrooms, and it was the most horrible thing I've ever done in my life. I had to tear tickets on shrooms.
No, thank you. I walked in on a guy sucking another guy's dick in the front row once.
Hell yeah. What'd you do?
That's worse.
Stick around?
No, that's the thing is like I made like brief eye contact because I didn't realize it at first, and then I just very awkwardly like ran out, and then I told my manager, who was a full 2 years
Hey,
older
listen,
than me.
there's a guy sucking the dick in the Star Wars Episode 2.
Nope,
theater over there.
it was Johnny Depp's The Tourist.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can you blame him?
No, I can't.
Yes.
It'll get anyone hot and bothered. Well, so I
Yes,
tell the
it's-
manager where they are, and I told him the wrong theater. So he came stomping mad, like
He
back
also
toward
came.
me. Yeah, he came.
Okay.
But I had sent him to the live action version of Yogi the Bear.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my
Solid.
mistake. I was flustered. I was 17. I'd not even gotten to see a pair of boobs yet, and I saw full on fellatio between two men.
Oh, I'm about to boo-boo bear.
Another picnic basket.
Another fucking picnic basket.
And then George says he leaves the house around 2:30 to be at work on time.
Of course he does.
Time card says he got there just before 3. Casey, to her attorneys, tells a different story. She says that her dad did leave just before 3, but she never went anywhere. The discrepancy is pounced on by the defense at trial. George says that the afternoon before he headed to work, Casey sat down on the lazy boy beside him and said that she'd be working late and Kaylee would be with Zanny. So that's where she's off to, drop off Kaylee at Zanny's. Whatever story is true, Kaylee went missing between the time that George went to work and 7 p.m. That's fact, because Casey meets up with Tony without Kaylee that evening.
Hey.
And she was super stoked about it.
Yeah, they were renting 2 movies from
How you
Blockbuster.
doing, my little Strumbo?
I would like to make a note that this is what happens when you allow Italians into your life.
It happens every time.
Yeah, they have them on camera renting movies from Blockbuster. They're renting Jumper, starring Hayden Christensen, and Untraceable,
Oh.
starring Diane Lane. And Untraceable, RJ's that movie I was trying to fucking think of the other day on the podcast when I was telling about the red rooms on the internet, like an older movie. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Oh.
It's just funny that it came up again. Untraceable of all fucking things.
Ironically, Untraceable is a very traceable movie.
Yeah. Yes, that's when Kaylee disappears between that time. Probably dies because Kaylee doesn't make it. Spoiler alert.
I think I didn't think that was a spoiler. I thought we knew pretty sure that she died.
That's true.
Well, fuck you.
What? Haley? Baby.
After watching this Hayden Christensen fucking
Vehicle.
vehicle, Casey moves into Tony's apartment. She doesn't leave. Tony had she just stays
He
there.
won her over with Jumper.
She just
It's a
stays.
Florida move.
And Tony had two roommates, a guy named Clint House and Cameron Campana.
Oh God, he had roommates.
He did. So she moves in
Oh
and
God.
she's the girl in the house. She starts to clean up after these guys.
No,
Hell
she
yeah.
does not.
Yeah,
Don't
she
even
does.
fucking
She does.
try.
She does 100%.
What? Yeah, at least she's finally become responsible for something.
Yeah, no, there's no way that isn't the messiest bitch in the world. Like her car is probably just like fucking. You have to like swim through trash to get into it.
Nope. Looks
What
good.
is that? A new Liliana Planeswalker? Fuck that bitch.
It's always magic cards that are in the cars. Yeah, so she's cleaning up after them. She's taking out garbage for them. She's cleaning the kitchen, whatever. She's being like the little girl in a house full of guys. Douchey Florida party scene guys. House and Lazaro were both party promoters, like I said, and DJs. Their DJ names were DJ Anonymous and DJ Beatty. I'm not sure who was which DJ, but
I would love to say right now that both of them are lame.
yeah, they hosted events at a club called Fusion Ultra named That's Dope Fridays. Did you ever go to that? That's Dope Fridays.
Wait, where was the venue?
At Fusion Ultra.
Fusion? Oh God, yes, I know Fusion.
I've never heard of any of those DJs, nor have I attended any of the parties that happened there.
Jeremy, you know Fusion though.
Nope, never heard of it. Moving on. What happened next?
That's not
Richard?
true at all, Jeremy. You know exactly what Fusion is.
DJ Anonymous. That sounds spooky. What happened next?
Is that how you cracked your tooth? Anyways, moving on. Okay. When interviewed by police later, the DJs say that Kaylee went missing. After Kaylee went missing, Casey wasn't acting any differently at all. She was just as normal, whatever. Here's an example. 4 days after Kaylee went missing, at Lazaro's and House's That's Dope Friday, they were hosting a hot body contest to which Casey attended and participated in.
Yep, she did a lot of stuff while her daughter was missing.
4 days
over
after.
the 31 days.
But her entry into the hot body contest was her child's body warmed in the Florida sun in the trunk of the car. In which case, she was very prepped to win.
You know,
RJ, I understand you would think that, but it's not what happened.
She's in this hot body contest. How do
I'm not gonna let that go. I love that. Thank you, RJ.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
I didn't know I could make jokes like that.
say whatever you want. She this is the pictures.
Oh, we get photos.
Yeah, this is
my photo. I gave you guys a photo.
No,
Yeah.
no, that was she was throat deep into a dick.
Yeah,
Half
she
throat.
that picture that I just like highlighted, this one here, all in the media later on, like very much used.
Super
There's one,
stoked. I mean, she's super happy.
yeah, she's
hanging
having a
out.
great. This is the one that like really got her in trouble. Her grinding up against this other girl.
Yep.
That one was all over the place, and she's looking like she's having a great time. Like, look, she's not sad.
She's having a blast.
She's having a. Oh,
Are you
there's
sure
another one.
it's a hot body contest and not a sharp shoulder contest like Mike brought up earlier?
Yeah, she looks like she's about to cut through some of them fucking sleeves, man.
Doing that like
Yeah,
sa, 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 sa.
taking an eye out with those bad boys.
Yeah.
Ba-ba, ba-
So,
Cha, chin, cha.
Michael, for your sake, I'm going to say at trial, but it's not trial yet. We're just talking about trial for a second.
We're not in the trial yet. God damn it.
The prosecution uses these photos to like show that she's super relieved she doesn't have a baby anymore. Look at this. Look at the motivation. This is where I start to look at her like a fucking sociopath. What the fuck are you doing? You know your kid is missing. Like, you know this, and you're
In
out.
context photos.
She's fucking
knows?
psycho.
She might not know.
She does, Jeremy. She absolutely knows.
She might be getting fed lies. She doesn't know.
She hasn't had her daughter for weeks.
She thinks her
It's
daughter
4
is
days.
safe.
It hasn't been weeks. It's been 4 days at this point for that hot body contest.
4 days is 4 days
4
too
days.
long for me not
That's
to
fucking
have my
crazy.
daughter.
100%.
I mean, I don't know how she didn't win then. That body would be so hot in that car.
It was
That'd be liquid.
it's a hot body contest, not a tight body contest.
Okay, so it being cooled is fine.
in the docuseries, the 2022 Casey Anthony Where the Truth Lies, she says that she's not there partying. She explains those pictures. She says she's working. She's in charge of the shooter girls. She's working for the DJ boys.
Can I break that title down real quick?
100%.
Where the Truth Lies. Something that Casey Anthony does throughout the entirety of the so-called trial. Casey Anthony spends majority of her time lying to everyone about everything.
Even the truth?
It's a learned behavior, Mike. It's a learned behavior.
Including the truth.
Oh my God.
Anyway, she's so super fucking classy, and she's telling everyone that Kaylee's with Zanny. Don't worry about it. There's a journal entry from the day after this, so 5 days after. A trail, they read it out. It says, "I completely trust my own judgment. This is the happiest I've been in a very long time. I hope that my happiness will continue to grow." The day after that hot body contest.
Hot body hot dogs?
Yep, and they
Is that what you said?
yes, the
Okay.
100%. So prosecution uses that obviously to be like, see, look, she's unburdened herself. She's great. Defense says this is a entry from 2003. This is how the defense gets through. You're going to see it through. They just get through by poking holes in all the evidence. On June 23rd, Casey and her new boyfriend Tony wait until George and Cindy aren't home to go to the house. They break into the shed in the back and steal George's gas cans because I'm guessing that the 98 Pontiac Sunfire ran out of gas again. This makes her look fucking guilty again. Bad moral decisions, just breaking into her dad's house.
Okay, well, hold on. Those gas cans were for her.
You're not wrong.
Didn't
You're not wrong.
steal.
Were they?
George noticed right away.
She's used to her dad breaking into anything he wants to. Am I right?
Oh, you're not
This is
wrong.
learned behavior.
George knows that it must have been Casey who stole the gas because clearly it's for her. But he decides he's going to call the police and report this as a robbery. Like, kind of like to teach Casey a lesson. And Cindy didn't stop him. So he's like, I'm finally going to get her, guys. I'm calling the cops on her.
I'm doing
Well,
it.
every good parent knows
Yeah.
that the time to teach your child a lesson is sometime, around after their daughter has been missing for several days at this
To
point.
be fair to George and Cindy, they were bitching at her to move out of the fucking house. She leaves, takes the kid with her. Sure, she's not showing the baby or the kid to her yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's in peril yet. You know what I mean? She's just an idiot. Like, they know she's a moron, but they don't.
When
think
do we get to the 911 call, Richard?
we're like, we got 3 911 calls to tell you the truth, and they're coming very soon.
Okay.
So later in the day, George is home and Casey walks in. She didn't expect him to be home. He's like, I want my gas cans back. And she goes out in the car, loses it on her dad. She goes, here's your fucking gas cans, Dad, and chucks them at him.
I'm just picturing him sitting in the dark in one of those scenes where like the light just clicks on and he just turns around. He goes, "Where's my gas cans, Casey?" Now I know you've been out partying, having sex with Italians, but where's my gas can?
Oh God, really the worst crime that she's committed so far.
Yeah. Having sex with Italians.
What are you gonna name? What are you gonna name the baby? Dago?
Gabagool.
And this is one of the only times in the 31-day period where Kaylee's missing, Casey is seen by her parents. Not sure the exact date of this, but Casey's brother Lee gets into the Sunfire with her, get a ride from her, and he says that there's an awful smell in the
Oh,
car.
he absolutely gets a ride from her.
More ways than one.
He says the smell's so
Never mind.
bad, he didn't know how to put his finger on it, but it could have been decomposition. That's what he says on the trial. Then when Casey's asked about it, she just says, oh, a couple of squirrels crawled into my engine and died. That's the smell you're smelling. And then another one of her friends, Amy Huizinga, says that yes, her name's Huizinga. She says that she noticed the smell too, and Casey tells her that she hit a squirrel on the road and it was stuck in the engine area. So, like, the same weird lie, she kind of got it right because she couldn't keep track of all her fucking lies. She's like, oh, it's squirrels. It was squirrels and dying or something. Around this time is when Casey steals Amy Huizinga's checkbook. The reason Amy was in the car with Casey is that Casey was dropping her off at the airport to go on holidays. So when her friend gets out of the car, she steals the checks. And then she starts to write fake checks to herself. And over the next couple days, she forges $644 worth of checks.
She's already on trial for the murder at this point.
No,
Mike, but she's not on trial for being resourceful.
Yeah,
Come on.
she's on bond. She right now when she starts writing fake checks from her friend's checkbook,
false.
she's on bond.
False. She
what?
stole.
No, fuck it.
I'm
No,
telling you,
it's not.
it's
Fuck
false.
you, Richard. She's on bond and O.J. Simpson is alive.
That's right. He's alive and doing well at 74.
She stole them before, in the period while they were missing.
Wait,
And
is there another check fraud issue? While
they use that to keep her in jail because they don't have a body yet. But I'll show you the video of her stealing the like they have video of her at
You
Target.
show that video, and then I'll show you the video I have of Casey Anthony.
Investigators say this is Casey Anthony at an East Orlando Target store just
Hell
hours
yeah.
after she dropped her friend Amy
Look, she's
Huizenga
getting the
at
values.
the airport. For the next week, while Huizenga was on vacation, investigators say Casey repeatedly used her checks and identity,
She's got beer.
draining
She's
Huizenga's
got a
checking
bunch of
account.
fucking like.
These are
Oh
copies of the
my.
checks with Huizenga's name that investigators say Casey forged.
Huizenga.
Also of significance, prosecutors say Anthony buys only adult clothing, nothing for her daughter Kaylee, who had already been missing for
That
more than
bitch.
3 weeks.
She's only been missing for, yeah. She's stealing.
She's
fucking
not guilty for being selfish, Mike. She
So-
can buy herself clothes.
No, she didn't buy herself clothes. She stole from her friend to buy herself
every
clothes.
every time you go to the store and steal money from your friend, you buy your daughter clothes.
How do you buy beer and use checks that aren't in your name?
She just signed them as if the girls did. She was Amy Huizenga.
But
got
you
the
need an
checks, dude.
ID to buy beer.
You're
Do you
thinking,
not know how to do check fraud, RJ?
and you're
But
working with.
yeah, if I don't have to present my ID,
They're Target employees. Calm down. They're not like fucking investigating. They're just looking.
You
at
give them
you're
a
old.
check and you sign it. They take it.
It's also Florida.
There's a bunch of
well,
things that go into this
that's
factor.
fair.
Target employees from fucking Florida and a girl with like cleavage. Like it's not that hard.
I used to buy beer when I was 14. RJ.
I mean, like
It's
I've
really
drank in
easy.
bars underage, but like, I mean, like it was like known. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like giving someone a check that is not in your name and then also your ID at the same time is just like, that's just it's so the level of incompetence is wild.
RJ, we don't have 40s in Florida for a reason. We're not on your level, okay?
After about a week after stealing the gas from her parents, Casey parks her car beside a dumpster at a check cashing place called Amscott in Orlando.
Called Amscott.
I
To
don't
be
know.
fair, they just put dumpsters next to them. That's not their fault.
I have visited many an Amscott.
I will say that
Me-
like parking your car next to that's exactly where I would park my car if I had had a child's dead body in it at some point.
Just
Because
Yes.
I imagine that all the dumpsters in Florida smell like dead child bodies because of all the abortions thrown in them. That people have to have
They all
illegally.
do. Well, and dead raccoons. The raccoons that are in there. Yeah.
They smell like bod man spray. Is what they smell like. Have you ever had
Ah.
bod man?
I do remember that.
I'm so sorry. Can I use? I have to tinkle.
all good.
We'll carry the team. You'll be fine.
All good. Should I just keep going?
Yeah, or we'll give RJ an opportunity to say some stuff that's funny.
Yeah, well, it's hard out here.
Well, I will tell you right now, RJ, you carry the team so much on this show.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
And so
Holy
you're
fuck.
not used to having people comment the way that Jeremy and I do, and it shows because you're like, I'm used to doing all the funny stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, you guys
Wow.
are great.
Wow.
I'm enjoying that the energy's there because then I don't have to provide.
I love you, RJ. I love you so much.
I love you back.
And Richard, I
Wow.
love you too. Richard, you're so
All
great.
good. No, I'm fucking no.
No, listen, producer to
Fucking
producer.
Shivan Dragon or some shit. Let's talk about
Wait,
dragons again.
well,
I just
Shivan,
bought one of
that's
those.
a very expensive card, Richard. It's very expensive.
I have a legitimate question. Is Amscott like a thing in the States that I just don't know about?
Oh, I thought it was
Yes,
about magic.
correct.
I don't care.
Nope. Amscott is a like a money order, cash advance,
Okay, so that's-
bullshit.
That's a thing. Okay, I just said a place
Yeah.
called Amscott, but I didn't know that's like a
Oh
Hertz
no, I've
rental
been
or
to
some shit.
Amscott. I've been to Amscott to pay my rent before.
Okay, well, this Amscott, it's at one of the most busy intersections in Orlando. She ran out of
Oh,
gas.
is it
again.
OBT?
I guess so. I didn't say it. I didn't write it down. But she just parks the car beside a dumpster and like leaves it there. On June
Oh,
30th,
shit.
the White Sunfire is towed to Johnson's wrecking service, which also doubles as an impound lot. On July 2nd, Casey goes to a place called Cast Iron Tattoos and gets her shoulder tattooed with something that's
Italian.
It is Italian, and it says Bella Vita.
Ugh.
Italian for beautiful life. More
Yep.
sociopathy evidence.
Something Italians never encountered ever.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with getting an awesome tattoo. You don't know your daughter's dead. That's a great tattoo for a Florida whore from the West
for a
Coast.
Florida whore.
No one said awesome. They said Italian.
And also, I heard what was going on, and Mike, I don't appreciate that. Richard is just as funny as RJ. That's fucked up, dude. that
No,
you said
he
all that
is.
Stuff.
I didn't say
Remember
he
when you said
wasn't.
that stuff? You remember when you said that stuff? while I
Richard,
was in
Richard,
the
I love
bathroom?
you. I love you, Richard.
Fucking RJ's carry this shit. Let's do it.
That's why you're funny, Richard.
It's so funny. I've never genuinely seen Richard hurt.
I heard it. It was in my ears while I was tinkling. I was in the middle of a ritual, and I'm like, "Oh, Mike's just shitting on this guy. That's crazy, Mike." That you
Oh
would treat
God, I
some-
would never come on a podcast
That's messed up,
twice
dude.
if I didn't believe in the podcast.
No, but also RJ, I get what he's saying.
Oh God.
Richard is me, Jeremy, and RJ is you.
Yeah, I got it. RJ's got a big girthy dick. I understand.
Yep, that's correct. That's what I'm talking about. Richard, continue.
Thumb like. Okay. During the next few weeks, Casey had moved to Tony's. Cindy's been demanding to see her granddaughter. Casey keeps telling her, she's with Zanny. Don't worry. She's, you want me out of the house? I'm out of the house. You'll get to see her soon enough. She's with Zanny. Zanny's taking her to the beach. She's going to Disney World, Universal Studios. She's going to all the fun stuff. You don't have time for her, okay? So eventually, Cindy just keeps calling her. Eventually, Casey stops picking up Cindy's phone calls. So much so that Cindy gets Lee to help her make a MySpace page to try and communicate with her daughter. This is July 3rd, the day after the tattoo. Cindy posts on her MySpace with the title, "My Kaylee is missing." And it was a long paragraph filled with sadness and anger about how she gave everything to her daughter. Now she's not even allowed to see her granddaughter. And Casey doesn't respond for a couple days. And then when she does respond, Casey just tells her mom to leave her alone. July 4th, Casey texts her ex-boyfriend, Jesse Grunt.
2008? Are we in 2008 yet?
2008, July 4th.
Okay.
She's been missing for a while now. She's been missing a couple weeks. Casey texts her ex-boyfriend, Jesse Grunt, telling him that if my parents start to ask you any questions, just ignore them. Jesse calls her to ask what that means. And she says, I can't really tell you, but maybe I'll have a few drinks later and I'll tell you because I can't tell you right now. And then Jesse never hears from Casey ever again. July 13th, George Anthony, whose name is on the ownership of Casey Sunfire, gets a registered letter from Johnson's Wrecking saying that the car had been there since June 30th. A couple days later, July 15th, he and Cindy go to pick it up at Johnson's. As soon as they walk up to the car, both Simon Birch, the guy working at Johnson's, and George say that the car smells like decomp. The guy from the impound lot said that he had lots of dead bodies in cars before, and he knows exactly what it smells like. Like, impound lots are fucking chock full of dead bodies. I know what it smells like. And George used to be a cop, so he knows the smell of decomposition. So George is like,
He's
you know what?
Very familiar, he says.
Yes, I'm very familiar, so I'm going to go open the trunk. And he's worried. He's like, I'm going to go check. I'm worried that there's going to be a dead body in there. And they pop open the trunk. What do they find?
Trash.
Trash. A big bag of rotting pizza with maggots. So say there's maggots
With maggots in it. And then he takes the car and drives it away without the fear of knowing that it's got a body in it.
No, the impound
Well,
lot.
he didn't know. He didn't know, Mike.
Oh, no, Jeremy. He knew the moment
was set
that
up.
he was at trial. He was like, I knew that fucking car smelled like a human body. And the prosecutor was like, and then you drove it home
Yeah, he
and
he
then
admits
to work.
He knew the smell.
Yeah, he knew.
He didn't know why come, Mike. Why come?
So the impound guy just grabs the bag of garbage, says, I'll chuck that for you, don't worry. And he also lends him some gas because it's out of gas. And then inside the car, Casey's purse is there. And the back seat, Kaylee's car seat.
And a toy. And a toy
And
that
a
she
toy.
loved.
And George and Cindy pay the fine, drive the car home. I'm sure they had the windows down the whole ride because it definitely smelled like a dead body. Once they get home, Cindy starts calling all of Casey's friends to figure out where Tony lives. She figures it out. Cindy drives to pick up Casey. Cindy pounds on Tony's door. Get out here now. We need to talk. If you're not going to come out, just give me Kaylee. I'll take her. You don't need to. You just do whatever you got to do. Casey says fine. She gets out, comes out of the house, gets in the car. On the ride home, Cindy and George confront her about the fucking smell in the car. She says it must be the rotting garbage. It's left in the Florida hot sun, Mom. Come on, it's hot garbage.
For 3 days.
Where's your granddaughter? At this point, she's been missing for 31 days. Cindy and George weren't used to the separation, so Cindy's going a little crazy. Usually, they were cool with Cindy and George seeing Kaylee. Just now, she insists that she's with Zanny. Bring her here. I'm calling the police. Casey calls her bluff and continues with the Zanny lie. So Cindy calls 911 from the car on the way home. Here is the first 911 call.
Finally! Fuck!
I told you I went autistic with this.
You have a Casey Anthony playlist?
Yeah, I do.
There's so much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I drove to the police department here on Pershing, but you guys are closed. I need to bring someone into the police department. Can you tell me where the closest one I can come into?
What are you trying to accomplish by bringing them to the station?
I have a 22-year-old person that has grand theft sitting in my auto with me.
So the 22-year-old person stole something?
Yes.
Is this a relative?
Yes.
Where did they steal it from?
My car and also money.
Okay, is this your son?
Daughter.
Okay, so your daughter stole money from your car?
No, my car was stolen. We've retrieved it today. We found out where it was at. I've retrieved it. I've got that, and I've got affidavit for my banking account. I want to bring her in. I want to press charges.
Where did all of this happen?
Oh, it's been happening.
No, but I need to establish a jurisdiction is what I'm trying.
Oh, I live in Orlando.
Yeah, but what address did these thefts occur at?
Well, I guess my residence, I guess.
Okay.
4937 Hope Spring Drive.
That's actually going to be in the jurisdiction of the sheriff's office, ma'am, not the Orlando Police Department.
All righty.
Let me transfer you over to the communications section for Orange County.
Okay. Now, is the Orlando Sheriff's Department the one on 436, is that open this afternoon, this evening?
The substation you're at on Pershing, if it's Orlando Police, we're open primarily during the day.
Uh-huh.
But that's not the sheriff. That's the city police, which does not have jurisdiction for your
I know there's a sheriff's department on 436.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer you to the sheriff's communications section, and you can determine that. Hold on.
Okay. Because my next thing will be down the child thing, and we'll have a court order together. If that's what you want to play, we'll do it. And you'll never.
If you hear her talking at the end of that call there, she hangs up because she's driving and she just wants to get home.
That's not the first 911 call, though.
That is the first 911 call.
Where's the first 911 with her mom?
That is her mom.
That's not her mom.
That's Cindy, for sure. What are you talking about?
Is there another one 911
There's
call?
3 911 calls in the same night.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay. So that at the end.
Carry on.
That's okay. At the end, you can hear her kind of being like, if that's the way you want to play it. She's threatening to take Kaylee away from her. She's at the point now where she's like, I'm going to get a court order and I'm going to take custody of Kaylee because you're not watching her. So that's the threat right now. They're trying to like scare her straight, I guess, by bringing her to the jail so she can kind of tell them where Kaylee is.
Yeah.
And Casey's like, still like playing the fucking, I don't know where she is. It's fucking mind-boggling. You know what I mean?
Famously, I remember the 911 the big 911 call. I'm sure you'll
the one
get
that
to
played
it.
all the time. It played all the time.
Yeah,
Jeremy. Yeah.
It was the news media narrative.
That's
the one phone call.
The third one's the one like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
The one you played is one of my favorites, but it's not the one that was played over and over again for us.
The media definitely like to make their own narrative on this entire thing. This is kind of what got Casey off, honestly, is the media just meddling too much. She hangs up. She's like, okay, I'll just call them from home because it's fucking near the house anyway. I'm driving. I got to get back home. So at home, Cindy and George, I guess, start putting some pieces together on this whole thing. I think she realizes that she hadn't seen her grandchild for 31 days and the car smelled like fucking death. So she decides, you know what? I'm just going to call the sheriff's office. So this is the second 911 call. I don't know. The second one isn't as good as the last one, but it definitely has some more information here.
What's the address of your emergency? 4937 Hope Spring Drive.
4937 Hope Springs
Drive, Olmsted.
Okay, what's happening?
I have someone here that I need to be arrested in my home.
They're there right
I have
now?
a possible missing child. I have a 3-year-old that's been missing for a month.
A 3-year-old?
Yes.
Have you reported that?
I'm trying to do that now, ma'am.
Okay, what did the person do that you need arrested?
My daughter.
Okay, I just want you guys to notice that Cindy's being a lot more
Yep.
sassy in this one. She's got the sass going on here, hardcore.
This is the one that I'm familiar with.
And I think this is more her pissed off at Casey for not saying where the fuck Kaylee is. And she's taking it out on the dispatcher.
I want
a
to
little
arrest
bit.
my daughter because she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, so do I have, I don't want to go against your narrative if you're building up to something, but I wholeheartedly disagree.
You guys, the whole podcast is going against Richard's narrative.
That's the fun of the
Oh,
whole
great.
thing. Yeah, it's just,
All right.
yeah, for sure.
Cindy is just as sassy as she was in the first voicemail.
She's just annoyed more, I find, at this time. Like, you'll see.
She's very professional. Have you ever made a 911 phone call?
Never.
Have you ever been in distress and made a 911 phone call?
Never.
I don't think
This-
do you guys. What is it over there?
It's 911, yeah.
You guys have 911 too?
Wait, you guys have never made a 911 call?
I've never, no.
Really?
I have several times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, RJ's on the same page.
It doesn't always come out so constructed. She knows all of the verbiage. She's got all the words down on how to move the conversation forward with the police officer.
Okay.
She's someone who just knows to go, oh, if I say this keyword, oh, that's what you're taking as sassy, is that
just-
she knows
Just
the next thing to say to a cop.
Let's listen.
you tell at the end. You tell me if she's there. I just find her. She's just like fed up with Casey, and she's taking it out on this lady. But we'll see. Like, I'll take what
Let's
you're saying
find
into
out.
account.
I agree she's fed up with
For
Casey.
stealing an auto and stealing money. I already spoke with someone. They said they would patch me through the Orlando Sheriff's Department and have a deputy here. I was in the car. I was going to drive her to the police station, and no one's open. They said they would bring a deputy to my home when I got home to call them.
So she stole your vehicle?
Yes.
When did she do that?
On the 30th. I just got it back from the impound. I'd like to speak to an officer. Can you have someone come out to my house?
Okay. Okay, I gotta ask you these questions so I can put them in the call, okay?
Okay.
30th of June?
Yes.
Okay, how old is your daughter?
22.
Okay, what's her name?
My name?
Her name.
Her name, Casey Anthony. Casey.
And your name?
Cynthia Anthony.
Cynthia, can I get a phone number that I can reach you at?
407-808-4731.
Call that.
That number's disconnected.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, hopefully.
And you said you have the vehicle back?
Yes. And I have the statement.
Casey's there right now?
Yes, I got her. I finally found her after a month. She's been missing for a month. I found her, but we can't find my granddaughter.
Okay, how tall is Casey?
5'1.5".
Tight.
Thin, medium, or heavy build?
Then
Hell yeah.
Color hair?
brown.
That's what I'm talking about. The brunette.
Jimmy!
What color shirt is she wearing?
White.
Hopefully not.
What color pants?
Oh, they're short. They're plaid. They're like pink and teal and
She
white.
was skanking all night.
She was into ska.
Does she have any weapons on her?
No.
I hope so. Oh,
Is Casey not telling you where her daughter is?
Correct.
she knows how to keep a secret.
Okay, we'll have a deputy out to you as soon as one's available, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You could tell off of that call, she's
Thanks.
just like she's just like wanting to, like I said, like teach her daughter a lesson, like trying to get her to fucking say something, like what's up or whatever. I find the commitment to the lie is so crazy. Like I can't believe she's still like, nope, I don't know where she is. Call the cops. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, it's wild. This time she mentions the missing kid though. She didn't mention that the first time. She said it was someone stole my auto. Who the fuck says that? Yeah, you got to come here and get them. And
Someone who's been hanging around in Italian.
It was my auto. It was a 4-speed. It was a Volkswagen.
Listen, babe, if you get locked up, you just tell him Tony gave you an auto. Come on. Don't worry about it.
So Cindy, she's not getting any info from her, so she sends Lee after Casey to get some information out of her because they've been more friends than the other two. So she tells Lee nothing, just that Kaylee's gone, and she says, Kaylee's gone, Kaylee's gone. And everyone's like, what do you mean she's gone? So Casey tells them about how Kaylee had been abducted by the nanny. She told someone that she'd been missing for a month now. The family asked why she didn't say anything. She says it's because she's embarrassed, quote unquote, and she was scared that if she said something that Zanny would hurt Kaylee. She watched TV shows. If they don't follow instructions, the kid dies. So she's out here spending the last part of the month searching for Kaylee with her, quote, own resources. So as soon as she tells that story to her mom makes the third and final call of that day to 911.
My daughter's a horrible whore.
I called a little bit ago. The deputy sheriff said I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing.
Okay, what is
here now?
Okay, what is the address that you're calling from?
4937 Hope Spring Drive. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl.
4937 what?
Hope Spring, HOPESPRING Drive, Orlando. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago that my daughter's been looking for. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, keep that in mind. She says it smells like a dead body in the damn car.
What is the 3-year-old's name?
Kaylee, Caylee, Anthony.
Kaylee Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, is she white, black, or Hispanic?
She's white.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not
Rambling
seen her
all the
since
cars.
the 7th of June.
Oh, it's a white
What is her
baby.
date of birth?
Shut it down!
8/9/2000. Oh God, she's 3. She's 2005. George Kaylee's missing. Kaylee's missing. Kaylee's missing.
I love how George just pops in like, what's going on in here, guys? Kaylee's missing. Like, he hasn't been a part of the conversation at all, I guess.
Kaylee's missing. Took her a month ago. She's been missing for a month.
Okay, I understand. Can you calm down for me for just a minute and I need to know what's going on, okay? I'm gonna try and tell.
Hey, calm down, bitch.
Is your daughter there?
I'm on the phone with them.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her? Do you mind if I speak with her? Thank you.
I called them 2 hours ago. They haven't gotten here. They finally admitted to Betty. He took her a month ago. He's trying to find her.
Ma'am.
He's downstairs. They want to talk to you. Answer the question. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Well, can you tell me what's going on a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me a little bit what's going on?
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
It's so annoying.
And you know who has her?
I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today. Now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute.
Okay, did you guys call and report a vehicle stolen?
Yes, my mom did.
Okay, so there's been a vehicle stolen too?
No, this was my vehicle.
What vehicle was stolen?
It's a 98 Pontiac Sunfire.
Okay, I have deputies on the way to you right now for that. But now your 3-year-old daughter is missing. Kaylee Anthony.
Yes.
White female.
Yesterday. Yes, white female.
3 years old, 8/9/2005, her date of birth?
Yes.
And you last saw her a month ago?
31 days. From 31 days.
Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Who is that? Babysitter?
She's been my nanny for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources.
I've just been looking
to try
for
to find
her, okay? I've been looking real
stupid.
hard.
Okay.
Can you give me the name of the nanny again? Like, spell it out for me?
Zenaida, Zenaida.
Last name?
Fernandez. - Gonzalez.
That is a woman who's lying.
The officers are there?
Yes.
Turns out saying there's a smell of dead body and a little girl's missing make the cops show up a little quicker. They show up before the end of that phone call. She tells 911, I don't know, I know Michael caught it, but she tells the 911 operator she got a phone call from an unknown number and spoke with Kaylee that day, earlier today, for like a minute. And the phone number's like disconnected now, so I don't know fucking where that went. Detective Yuri Melik interviews Casey and tries to figure out what's going on at the house. He shows up, they're fighting, like Casey and Cindy are like full-blown yelling at each other. It's chaos in the fucking house. Casey sits down with Detective Melik. He tells about Zanny the nanny being the last person who sees his daughter. Casey claims she went to work, left Kaylee with her. Then when she went to pick her up at 5 p.m. on June 16th, Zanny was nowhere to be found. So Detective Melik was like, wait, who? What happened? What? Wait, what's going on? Just, where does she live? Let's start there. Casey says, I'll take you. So late that same night, police take her to where Casey claims Zenaida's apartment is, at the Sawgrass Apartments, where she visited before with her other friend who used to live there. She points at an apartment, the same one her friend used to live at, and said, that's where she lives, I promise. Gives a whole bunch of details. That wasn't Zenaida's house. That's where Amy Huizinga used to live. To the cops, Casey describes the apartment. Police go check it out. They knock on the door, and no one comes to the door.
Oh, surprise.
The cops in
a lie, Jemmy. From Casey Anthony.
Can you believe
it? Casey Anthony lies?
About where her daughter is.
She must have been born that way. Is this nature or nurture, Mike? She comes from a family of liars.
Oh, sure. So because she was born that way, she can murder whoever she wants, and it's fine. Because of parent problems.
Maybe she drops her child off at her parents' house to her mother, Cindy. And her mother, Cindy, says, oh, we're going to be out of town, but don't worry, our nanny.
No, she's caught in lies, Jemmy. She's caught in all these lies.
So the cops,
Clearwater, Mike.
They knock on the window of this place.
Don't forget that.
In a surprising feat of self-control, they look through the window and check what's going on inside instead of knocking down the door like cops love to do. Inside the apartment, it looks abandoned. It was abandoned. Amy moved out of there 3 months ago. So they tell Casey that Zanny wasn't at the apartment where they said she was. They didn't tell her it was abandoned. They just said that she wasn't there. Then they ask her if there was another place she knew Zanny could be. Casey tells the cops that she knows where Zanny's mom lives, Gloria. So she leads them right to an old folks home where Gloria didn't live. Casey goes, weird. Then they leave, and they just start going searching again, and they continue searching around places that Casey says Zanny could be for the rest of the night, return to Casey's household at about 4 a.m. Melik is pissed now. Melik turns on his tape recorder to interview Casey at her home. Here's a nice little clip of this interview, which Melik already took down. Put it this way, Melik took down her statement, and he wants to get this on tape, her telling a bunch of lies. It's essentially his plan right now, before he goes and investigates them so he can go fucking screw her right over.
And Richard's gonna bring it to you right now.
Right now.
Hours, I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Present here at 4937 Hope Spring Drive. I reference Orange County case number 08-069208. I am with Casey Anthony, is that correct?
Yes.
And Casey, would you please state your birthday for me?
03/19/1986.
Okay. Casey, you understand this is being recorded?
Yes.
You have any objection to that?
No.
All right. Casey, I got called here by Sergeant Reggie Hosey with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in reference to a missing child. We sat here and talked for a short moment before we went on tape because I wanted to make sure that your sworn statement, which I'm looking at, was accurate. I'm looking at 4 pages of a sworn statement. On the bottom appears to be your signature. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're saying that everything contained in these statements are true and accurate?
Yes.
Also, before I turned on the recorder, I gave you a chance because I wanted to explain what happens if...
Pause.
Shit.
What fucking sociopath just put this over videos of the child
I know.
for 9 minutes straight?
It's rough. It's
It-
rough.
it's a
and
lot.
It sucks. And like as a father of a daughter, this is the worst thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, we're not going to go through the whole thing. I do want you to hear him give her the warning, though, about like, if you're lying to me right now, this is on tape, right?
All right, yeah,
this
get to that.
recorder, I gave you a chance because I wanted to explain what happens if you make a false report or if there's something about this incident that you're not telling us the truth of. And I wanted to make sure I made it perfectly clear that, if you want to go ahead and rescind this statement, and if you want to tell me a different story about what happened, if you're trying to fabricate a story to kind of make something look a little bit better, now's your time to tell me. Are you telling me that this is the story you want to stick with?
That's the truth. It's the story I'm going to stick with. Yes.
Okay. In your own words, let's go back.
We don't need to hear the whole thing. I'll give you the quick synopsis. I just want you to understand he knows right off the bat she's full of fucking shit and wants to get her on tape saying all this stuff. Detectives ask her right away, okay, did you tell anybody about this at all? And Casey tells detectives that the only other people that she ever told about Kaylee going missing was two of her friends from Universal, Jeff Hopkins and her elusive buddy, Juliette Lewis.
I love that it happened at Universal. It's like, I bet it was Slytherin. Slytherin is responsible.
Well, now that wasn't a thing back then, though.
Malik asks for their phone numbers. He goes, okay, what's the
literal Mike?
what's these two guys' phone number? What's Juliette and Jeff's phone numbers? Casey goes, oh shit, I only have my personal phone. That's on my work phone, and my work phone's broken.
Valid.
He's like, what's your work phone number? She's like, oh, it's the same. He's like, well, wait, how does that work? How do you mean it's the
That's
same?
not a thing.
She's like, no, I knew my work phone was broken, so I took the SIM card out, and I put my SIM card into my new phone, but all the phone numbers are saved on my phone, not on my SIM card, so I don't have any phone numbers. I still have the same phone number, though.
It was a different time.
He's like, he just goes, okay, whatever, Casey, and he just moves on. Later that day, detectives go to Universal to ask about Casey. First thing they do is go looking for the two friends. Both those friends haven't worked at Universal for years. Actually, Juliette Lewis wasn't a person that ever worked at Universal, maybe in a movie.
That's not true. I'm sure she's been in movies produced.
Yeah.
Julia Dreyfus she's a national treasure. She's been in so many movies.
Both those friends in work.
That's a different actress, but that's okay because I've enjoyed
Richard Dreyfuss's
it's not.
wife/daughter. Wife/daughter.
Wife-daughter.
So then they ask, they're at Universal, they ask about Casey. Universal tells them that she hasn't worked there for over 2 years. Casey told the officers that Jeff Hopkins was the guy who recommends Zanny the nanny. When confronted with this info, Jeff's a guy, he really exists. He used to work there. So they ask him, like, did you give Zanny the nanny to... She's like, I don't even know who the fuck Zanny the nanny is. Investigators go back to the Sawgrass apartment complex during the day. Detectives talk to the manager, Amanda Malkin, and the maintenance man, Dave Turner. They tell Malik that the apartment Casey brought them to has been abandoned for a couple months, and no one named Zenaida is living there at all. This is where the police look up Zenaida, and they find someone named Zenaida, but she doesn't live anywhere near the Sawgrass apartments. Casey told them that she dropped Kaylee off at the Sawgrass apartments 31 days apartment. If the apartment had been abandoned for months, she was clearly lying. So Malik's on to her. So she seems to be lying about a lot of stuff. So they're sick of Casey's life, so cops set up a trap for Casey. They tell her that they want to go to her work and talk to her coworkers. So Malik wanted to interview them and try to make a better timeline on the disappearance of Kaylee so he can figure it out a little bit better. So Malik tells Kaylee, just meet us there. So he needs to do this with her. So he just wants to see how far she's going to take this fucking lie, really. They know she's lying, and they're hoping that she's just going to confess. So Casey, with police in tow, walks confidently into Universal. She walks up to the security guard and says she needs to get to her office. But oopsie doozy, I forgot my key card. So the security guard asks her name, and after about 3 seconds of research, the security guard says that they have no record of someone by the name of Casey Anthony that works there. She says, yeah, you're wrong. Look it up again. And then she gives the supervisor's name and his extension. The security guard looks at her and says, sorry, no one by that name works here either. There's no supervisor by that name. Then a real supervisor comes down, and the cops kind of give him the old, like, just let it happen. You know, like, give her the eye, like, just let her in. Let's see how far this goes. So the supervisor says, sure, come on in, let's go. And she starts walking through the office, waving at people she clearly didn't know, saying good morning and shit like that. And then she keeps walking until she gets to like a dead end at the end of a fucking hallway. And she puts her hands in her back of her pockets, takes like a deep breath, and then she turns around to the cops and says, "Yeah, sorry, I don't work here."
If anything, she proved that she should be an actress for Universal.
Yep.
The fucking lie right to the last second. Like, what does she think? This was just gonna go away? Like,
could you imagine the power you would feel in that moment? To just be walking these cops around a random hallway you've never been in.
and now we need a big zinger from RJ.
I often imagine that power. And daydream about it even. But my thing is, like, to do something like that, you have to have had that work repeatedly in your life. Like nonstop. Like till people just like you wear them down and they give up. I.e. George and Cindy.
100%. And that's why she gets away with this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, some would say it's not a trait you're born with. Some would say that you've seen it perfected your entire life and you're the new generation.
Well, I think you're born with the complete and utter lack of empathy to try it. But like
empathy, yes, empathy. Correct. Yep. Yeah, yes, right here.
I think you need to know empathy to manipulate empathy.
That's not true. Richard's a very empathetic person, and his kids lack it entirely.
What's that? Like she's so full of herself. Like she's so like like she thinks that this is gonna work. Like she thinks that everyone's just gonna It's so crazy to me that she has that in her mind that the
word is undesirable.
Sure, whatever it is, she just walked in there, thought it was gonna work. It didn't work. Melik, knowing he's already got a whole stack full of fucking investigation he went through that entire day, and he sits her down. I guess he talked to the manager at Universal. They give him an empty room. He sits her down and interviews her right inside Universal Studios. Here is the first clip, or here's the clip of that interview. I'm not going to play the whole fucking thing because it is long, but I want you guys to hear him be like, "I told you what would happen."
Yes, please.
We talked earlier this morning, and we're working a case looking for your daughter Kaylee. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We came here to Universal Studios. We're sitting in a little conference room. Obviously the door isn't locked. We just closed it so we could have a little bit of privacy and talk to you. And a couple more questions came up that we need to ask you about. Remember how I opened?
I can't believe you think she's hot, Jeremy.
By saying that we need to get.
I mean, in this picture, she's
snowball fat and
the sexiest I've ever seen her. But
person
we're about halfway down that hill, 3/4 down that hill, and it's a pretty big snowball. Which means that there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Do you also want to fuck
And I can
Kate
tell
from
you,
John and Kate plus
just
8?
for certainty that everything you've told me so far has been.
I'll fuck anybody.
I can tell you with certainty. And why. Since I left you this morning, I've gone to every address that you've told me. I've looked up every name. I've talked to every person that you wanted me to talk to or tried to. I've reached out. I've talked to your ex-boyfriend. I've talked to Amy. I've talked to Tony. I came over here.
Hey, why are you calling me?
I found out all these names that you're giving me are people that either never worked here or been fired here for a long time ago. Okay.
The bitch ain't mine.
Where we are right now is in a position that doesn't look very good for you. And this is going to be your escape hatch, so to speak. Okay, this is going to be the point where you stop all the lies and you stop all the fibs and you tell us exactly what's going on.
I won't do it.
Don't you love cop
being
speak?
straight with you.
This is your time.
I know, and you know, that everything you told me is a lie, correct?
Not everything that I told you.
Okay. Pretty much.
I love this bitch.
Including where Kaylee is right now.
That I don't know where she is.
Sure you do. And here's
I don't know.
let me explain something. Together, a combined experience in this room, we all have about 30 years of doing this. Okay, both myself and Sergeant John Allen.
Big fucking whoop, Sergeant. Go fuck yourself.
We've dealt with several people. We've conducted thousands of interviews between the three of us. Happy's got 20 years, so just between the three of us, we've got several years.
Cake?
And I can tell you for a certainty that right now, looking at you, I know that everything that you've told me is a lie, including the fact that your child was last seen about a month ago,
dumbass?
and that you don't know where she is. See, I'm very confident just by having talked to you a short period of time that you know where she is.
I don't.
So you're a fucking moron.
And
they don't know. That's a lie.
No, they fucking do. Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna recant a little bit of what I said, and the fact that she is able to infuriate cops like that does make her significantly more.
She's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the funniest thing you've said today, RJ.
That
That's a Florida
definitely
fish right there, dude. Hell yeah.
that gave me a little bit of a sexual 180, if you will.
We're right here, brother.
Yeah.
So this interview, they sit down and it's 44 minutes at it. Well, I think it's about
They
30
bone
minutes.
her, yeah.
They literally take every little bit of lie she had and unravel it right in front of her. And the entire time,
I think they learned a little something about themselves.
most times, yeah, for sure. I would tell people, get a lawyer no matter what. Casey Anthony does not need a lawyer. She's fucking stone cold, best liar I've ever seen in my life. She doesn't budge an inch. She says, Zanny took her, but I don't know what to tell you. And she just keeps sticking with the fucking lie. She doesn't change any part of her story. She is the craziest liar of all time, and the cops are pissed. Both those guys are both like, "We know you're lying. Why would you lie to us? Why would you take us through walk through? Why
Between
would
the
you
two
walk
of
us?"
us, we have at least 20 years in experience of lies. So
Yeah.
we must understand the truth.
We lie to juries all the time.
Yeah, we're professionals. This bitch is crazy.
She's so committed to the lie that they go like, "What? Okay, the whole point of this, us talking to you, is to help find your daughter, right?" And she goes, "Yes." She's like, "How does it help your daughter to walk through Universal where you don't work?" She goes, "I don't know. I'm trying to think of a different place that Casey might be." Like, she doesn't give a fuck. She lies to a cop's face straight up, like no problems at all.
Correct.
She's crazy.
Because she's a stone cold harlot, Jemmy.
Almost like
bitch.
it's been ingrained in her
It doesn't
for years
matter.
and years. Like, this is normal.
It doesn't matter if it's normal for her.
I don't even care where she learned it. I'm just amazed that they allow porn on YouTube now.
I'll show you more.
They,
You want to see
they
it?
should
I got-
retitle
hold
that
on.
video to "Small White Girl Fucks the
I
Shit Out of a
can
Cop."
show you the world.
I'll show you all of her
Shining,
holes. Hold on.
shimmering, splendid.
So she sticks to the story. Zanny took Kaylee, doesn't waver. After the interview, police say, "Fuck it, let's charge her with child endangerment. This will make her confess." It doesn't. It just makes her get charged. And this is where I'm going to end the first episode. A little cliffhanger with her.
Oh my
wrapping up.
God, this is a multi-parter?
Oh, it is.
I mean, what would you
it should
expect
be.
for like celebrities like me and Jabby?
I told you I was doing.
Well, my apologies. I expect podcast stories and episodes to be less than 3 hours long, but
You're
I
wrong.
do
that's just
too.
me.
You're wrong. You guys are wrong.
We're on the same page.
You guys are
Richard,
wrong.
you did a bad job.
You guys are wrong.
I liked it. I liked everything you did.
Thanks,
Richard.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Where all her lies are collapsing on her. She's finally arrested. Little girl's missing. Mom doesn't report it. Cops try to figure out. Mom lies to them.
There's so much more to this story.
This is where the episode
much
should end.
more.
This is literally where it should end. It seems like where the case
I'm
should
telling
end.
you, by the time,
Yeah.
by the time this second part comes out, everyone's gonna know the truth that I was correct.
This feels like where this episode should end. She should be arrested. Everybody feels like she did it. But this is This is not even close to being over. There's so much more.
It's not even close.
Next episode, you'll get to meet Jose Baez, Casey's lawyer. Yeah.
Tell you right now, Richard, that lawyer, Jose Baez, all over the fucking internet, all over the fucking TV screens. He was one of the best lawyers compared to OJ lawyers.
For sure.
Name the OJ lawyer, Mike.
Lindsay Swanson, Dick Jeremy.
That's fair.
Next episode, you'll get to meet a guy named Roy Kronk.
Hell yeah.
Roy Kronk, no spoilers, but he does do something so fucked up that I had no clue about until I started looking at this case. There's a money man named Leonard Padilla, who's a dog, the bounty hunter wannabe.
Oh, he had a great
There's
hat.
Equisearch, Fantasy Forensics, a dog named Bones, George Anthony trying to unalive himself, a German doctor named Spitz, Sunshine Laws, so much more. 2 weeks.
Tune in.
Now.
We'll be here to tell you all about it.
There you go. So now you guys can go play Magic now.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I just watched Private Dicks and I think RJ's the funniest.
What? Come on.